Can you guys hear me? I've been having technical issues out the ass. I don't know what happened. I don't know what just happened. Why we started with a black screen, the black screen of death. That was very weird. So basically, I couldn't hear the intro music, and so I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. So please let me know if you can hear me, because I had a it's fucked up the intro, fucked up the whole intro with the damn black screen of death. So I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm seeing my little sound indicator going off. You guys can't hear me, cool, because I couldn't hear the sound. So since that's established, Vigilante Williamson here on the 11th episode on the Brave and the Bold, and it's less brave and bold than usual because I'm starting solo, but not long. Oh man, someone new to the Brave and the Bold has come in. I've only streamed with him once or twice, but I'm proud to have him here. Storyman Jack,
hey, how y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Oh shit! So I'm having major sound card issues because unfortunately, Storyman, I cannot hear you.
All right, let me check my mic here.
What the hell is going on with my stuff? Hello?
Can you hear me?
I take it you guys can hear Storyman, but I can't, and I don't know why that is.
Can you guys hear me in chat?
So I'm gonna. What is going? My sound card just shits the bed at times, and it's doing it now. Oh, this is the most stressful thing. I can't hear Storyman though. That's what I'm saying. I know you guys can hear me both, but I don't know why. StreamYards, why are you doing this to me live? Why are you doing this to me live?
I had to like.
Okay, maybe the default speakers, please.
How about now?
Okay. Oh my God, really? This is happening live. I may even have to restart the stream. You know what, Storyman? Could you do me a favor and vamp? I might leave and come back, and hopefully it'll work then.
Sure.
So I apologize on my first stream with you.
Oh, that's okay. Hey, how are you guys doing today? I had a really good week. So I don't know what you guys were talking about. Let me look over here. But I'm working on quite a bit of stuff. Huh. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? I think my mic is working and everything's fine because I just recorded a video but an hour ago. So, or I recorded another story. But okay. Hey, Parrot Hat. So I wanted to, I guess I can, until he gets back, I can tell you guys on my channel, I just, I think Tuesday, I posted the first chapter of a novel, really. I worked on it from 97 until 2008. And I had a co-writer as my best friend. He also has English degrees, but he's a lot artsier than I am. So I've had to rewrite it again, or I had to rewrite it again. And in 2008, I quit writing altogether. Quit writing anything at all. Because my son's mother, my first wife, saw that I'd been working on it for 10 years, and I worked on it every single day. Every day. I had 36 chapters. I was almost done with it. And I let her read it for the first time. She looked at me and told me I was wasting my time. I was horrible at it, and I would never make any money or be happy with it. So I put it on a hard drive and forgot about it. When you get discouraged, you just stop, right? I've been writing stories since I was 4 years old. And then once we got a divorce, I started writing again just for myself. And then, of course, the fandom menace, fourth wave, whoever you want to say, kind of inspired me to get started again. And now I have like 60 stories on my YouTube channel. The novel Circles Riven, I thought I'd lost. It was gone forever. I'd spent 20 years working on the stupid thing. and it was gone. Well, last weekend I was going through some boxes and I found an old hard drive that I didn't know what was on. I wanted to clean it up, maybe add it to. I have another bay on my desktop, and there was the story. At least 13 very polished chapters, and I recorded the first one. It is my ode to Lord of the Rings. My ode to.
This has been the worst stream ever.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can finally. Thank God.
There you go.
Oh my God.
There you go.
My sound card does that. And so I knew when I couldn't hear you, I would have to restart my computer. And I was hoping I didn't.
Really?
I did. And
Are you using a desktop? Are you there? Well, anyway, what I was going to say is I reread through the 13 chapters, and probably the best things I've ever written in my life. Yeah, that's not Baby Yoda. That's knockoff Chinese Yoda. That is knockoff Chinese Yoda. Somebody bought it for me at Walmart, I think, and it does say made in China, and it doesn't even look like him. So, but yeah, I mean,
no, you can't. Wait, you can.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you for coming on. I really, really appreciate you coming on. Thank you
not at all.
Your very first stream, you had to host it for the first 7 minutes. Hopefully, my sound card will not die on me. I have no guarantees on that.
I think if it's a desktop, you need to reseat it. You probably need to take your desktop apart, take the cards out, clean the receptacles with alcohol and Q-tips. Make sure it's unplugged and everything. Give it about 5 minutes after you do that. Put it all back together. Make sure it's seated really well. And I don't think you'll have that problem again. You
might be right. Actually, because I have an external sound card, but I think you might be right for the USB drive that it's going into, or USB port that's going into, because that's a PCI port. So I could take that out and clean it.
Yeah, and well, I'm a tech. That's what I do. So.
Oh, okay. I built this PC, but I'm not a smart. I just went on YouTube and figured it out. So.
I mean, it doesn't take much to figure it out. I mean, they're all just plug and play anyway most of the time.
Yeah.
But typically, when you have intermittent problems like that, it's a seating issue.
Huh. That sounds that probably is. So thank you for that tip. So hopefully, I don't have to deal with this in the future.
Right. Right.
Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I was bored and I'm trying to learn how to draw, and I got frustrated, so I needed something else to do.
All right.
So
yeah.
I just was telling them that this new story that I just released is just one chapter of 13 that I have completely polished, like ready to send to a publisher.
Oh, wow.
And so the story is that in 2008, I've been working on it for almost 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And my best friend who graduated from University of Texas, I had him come in because at the time he was much more conversant with the publishing industry and everything, and he came in and helped me rewrite it.
Okay. Real quick, somebody just popped in. My friend Jake D just showed up, and I just want to say hi to Jake D and let him in.
Hey, Vigilante, how are you, brothers?
Apparently getting my ass kicked by my sound card, but besides that, I'm doing good.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
You're good now, yeah.
Yeah.
So Jack, good to meet you, my friend. Haven't been on a stream with you before.
I don't go on many. I'll be on Culture Casino's Sunday review tomorrow.
Excellent.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, and so I wrote this story for 20 years, and I finally had it to a point where I was going to send it off. I let my son's mother read it in 2008, and she sat me down and told me I was a horrible writer. I should stop. I was wasting my time. I needed to go back to school and get a different degree. Just basically took the gloves off and hammered me.
Well, she sounds like a sweetheart.
Yeah. So I put it away. I stopped writing for like 5 years, and I'd been writing since I was 4. Well, I thought I'd lost this thing. It was on a hard drive. You know, that was 2008. That was 10 years ago, 12 years ago. And I found it last weekend cleaning. I found the hard drive and I was just going to clean it out. And I saw it there and I'm like, oh, let me reread this and see if it really is any good, because I've forgotten it enough that my mind is not filling in the holes. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is the best shit I've ever written in my life. So I uploaded the first chapter and he asked me not to tell anybody about it, about who, but let's just say a famous writer, a multi-millionaire who I've been reading since I was young, called me on the phone to tell me to keep posting this story.
Oh, wow.
And another author that I am friends with on Facebook, I don't know if you've ever heard of Weiss and Hickman. They wrote the Dragonlance novels for Dungeons and Dragons. She's a friend of mine on Facebook, and she really enjoyed it as well. So I was just through the roof. And then after I posted that story, I jumped like 40 subs in a day.
Oh, wow. I have to read the story now.
Yeah, it's now some people are saying the sound is too loud, that you can't hear my voice because I have background music in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a round robin story. So we start out, you got character over here and you've got another character over there. And it's like The Stand, that you tell their individual stories as they come together. And so I've introduced 3 characters, and I think there's 4 more that have to be introduced.
Yeah.
And it's high fantasy. It's Tolkien-esque.
Okay. Speaking of introduction, I want to introduce another panel member. 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser.
Flaves, how are you, brother? Good. Nice to see you once again, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
It's been too long, dude. And I'm going to be around tomorrow, so you'll see me. Oh, it's going to be a party. You can bet on that one. I've been rejuvenated. And I'm right now just like, I feel like I've had a little extra fire in me, so I'm ready to commit, man. So how are you guys doing? I kind of heard the story with Mr. Jack up above. Nice to meet you, buddy.
Nice to meet you guys. Hey, I've been doing this for like 2 years, and there's so many new people, and it's so great that I haven't met. And it is amazing that, because we got to do this stuff ourselves, right?
Yep.
That's why I'm writing stories, is because aside from Joker, maybe, and I did like the Snyder cut, but that's for emotional reasons.
I just finished watching it. God, that was so much better than the Whedon shit.
Oh yeah.
Pretty high.
And I'm not. So I'm a Star Wars lore guy. I'm a Lord of the Rings lore guy, right?
Okay.
I never got into the lore of comics. I've always enjoyed them, but I never really went back. So the people I've noticed who really do have a problem with Snyder's movies are the lore guys, the people who really are into the lore.
Snyder has this way of knowing the lore but not understanding it.
Right. Yeah. And I get that. I get that would piss me off. I mean, just like The Last Jedi pissed me the fuck. And when you see not just The Last Jedi, I mean that horrible first one where I was so looking forward to a black stormtrooper Jedi.
Yeah. Oh God.
So was everybody.
What a wasted fucking opportunity.
But we're all racist, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I mean, I'm the dude that when I was 8 years old read The Lord of the Rings. When I was 12 years old, I read the Silmarillion. And when I could wake up, because it's really hard to read. It's all exposition. There's hardly any dialogue. There's hardly any action. It's all, this people did this and this people did that and that kind of stuff. So it's really, it'll put you to sleep. But when these people, I don't know, it's like they're allergic to making money.
They very much are.
Well, I think that's kind of part of it. The thing is that I don't think a lot of people talk about that, and I need to mention this. I don't feel like they care as much as we think they do about losing money as long as they get the message forward. I think they're willing to burn down these properties in flames and by favor of getting their message, because that's what they care about more is their message over the property. They just use a property to further it.
I think in many cases that is absolutely true, Nick. I mean, just look at fucking Doctor Who, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're willing to burn that down in flames.
Oh, it's so burnt down.
Doctor Who is a different case because they're backed by the government, so they're guaranteed to get bailed out.
Mm-hmm.
In their minds, they have never. Yeah. I mean, even Red Dwarf was backed by the government.
Yep.
So for them, they think they have a safety net. Whether they do or not, I don't know anything about.
We'll find out really soon.
Yeah, apparently they did something with their license fees. I'm not a Brit, but apparently the people are not paying their license fees, so they may impact that safety net they think they had.
And but then
go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah, but then so that one clearly no profit motive at all. I mean, they're losing their licensing everywhere across the world. They don't even have Funko Pops anymore, for Christ's sake. I mean, Funko Pops makes Golden Girls characters, for Christ's sake, and they stopped making Doctor Who.
Yep.
That's how far into the shit can Doctor Who is gone. Friggin' Betty White as a Golden Girl is higher on the food chain than the Doctor, which is a really sad state of fucking affairs. I couldn't believe it when I saw that. I shit you not. Golden Girls Funko Pops are on the website for sale if you want them, and they've got no Doctor Who.
Man, I had a crush on Dorothy. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, thank you all for being a friend and showing. I grew up the one that was kind of slutty.
I grew up watching Maude. So yeah, so
you know. So they do that. So I mean, that it's just gone. There's no money in Doctor Who anymore. If they make another season after what they are just finished filming, I will be shocked. That thing's going off the air. Then you look at Star Wars, and they were so stupid about that Iger even was quoted as saying he didn't even have to advertise. I'll just put the goddamn name on it and it'll print money. I mean, he said that, right? So I think in their case, they didn't think it mattered for Star Wars, right? They just figured the brand was so goddamn big, they could do anything they wanted, and they'd make a $1 billion, $2 billion on the movies and the worlds at Disney and whatever have you, right? They didn't care. It didn't matter. All they had to do was say it was Star Wars, and it'd print money for them. I think they're finding out otherwise now. But
and see, here's my perspective as a creator, as a guy I've been reading and writing stories since I was 4 years old. Okay, I saw Star Wars in the drive-in theater in Plano, Texas, in the back of my parents' El Camino when I was 3 years old, and my dad said on the way home I wouldn't stop bugging him about how that was made, and he told me you've got to learn to write. And he wrote a story and he made a movie out of it. And I said, the next day I got my first book and I started learning how to read. So so the thing is that from my perspective, all the power is really with creatives. Traditionally, the creatives, the people who pull the stories out of nothing and create it, they have all the power, but they've been treated like crap since the beginning of Hollywood. Yeah, I mean, writers get paid a pittance compared to an actor who all he has to do is read the lines, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously,
they didn't create it.
Right.
They're bringing it to life,
right,
which is its own talent. I mean, make no mistake, it is.
Yes. But here's the thing: if creative said, you know what, I'll basically give you my story, but I have to retain control. If they said, I'll fucking eat ramen for the rest of my life before I sell you control of my story, then this shit would never happen again.
Agreed.
Well, Hollywood is not filled with creatives. They're not actually creatives. They may have the title writer, but they're not a creative person.
That's true. But
that's the real issue.
But
amongst many,
the Tolkien Society, should have told Amazon Prime, we retain creative control. If you don't want to do this, then that's fine. We won't do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, in Token's case, for years they kind of did until
that's why they waited till after Chris died.
Chris died, and now it's completely fucked, man.
No, that's how it always happens.
Is there any truth to the rumor that they've delayed this now for a couple of years? That's legit.
Yeah, people have left. Writers,
the pilot. Apparently, the pilot was so bad that people just walked out.
Good. I'm
nice.
I'm happy at that. Just leave.
I'm glad to hear that.
Leave it alone.
Yep. We have what we have. The Hobbit series isn't the greatest series, but it's still good.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Lord of the Rings is probably, if I'm speaking from a non-emotional level, probably the greatest movie series ever made.
I might agree to that. I might. It's tough. But I get what you're saying.
I don't think I'd argue.
With my emotion, I prefer the original Star Wars, but that's because I'm biased.
Well,
yeah, but you hold a good argument to Karis. Like, it's hard to disagree with that. I could see why you would say that. For real, like it really is. That's one of those trilogies. Like I saw all 3 movies in the theaters, and each time more and more people were seeing it. Each time that is a statistical anomaly to happen like that.
I the one thing. And I will never not say this when we're talking Lord of the Rings. Where the hell was Tom Bombadil? I'm serious about that. I'm not kidding. Everybody thinks I'm fucking around, but I'm not.
So with the Hobbit series, I expected to see Tom.
Yeah.
He was a very important part of both the Hobbit and Fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
Because he taught things to both Bilbo and Frodo. And I fully expected to see it in The Hobbit because they had to adapt some of the Lost Tales to fill in the gaps because they wanted this big expansive thing. Why the hell would you leave Tom Bombadil out? It just doesn't make sense.
It's my one significant criticism of Fellowship is where was Bombadil? Because that, I mean, really, people think I'm joking, but I am not. He was important as hell, and you could have done some cool shit with him.
Because he was basically the fairy character. He was the ethereal power that was supposed to guide. Kind of an expression of the land that that hobbits were. Basically hobbits were of the earth, of the earth, and as blue collar as a fantasy character could be. That's what they were, and that's what Tom Bombadil was supposed to encourage and guide. So I just, maybe it was just that they had a hard time trying to cast that kind of thing, or they didn't understand what he was, because it is very ethereal.
Yeah. Brightest Day's got a comment in the chat where Jackson discussed the fact that they cut him, and and I get that comment. I totally understand it, but it was still that's my only major criticism of Fellowship.
Well, it's like when you're watching the original Star Wars movie and Luke lights that lightsaber and then he jumps 3 feet, and Lucas has changed so much stuff he can't fix that.
Yeah,
I'm like, come on. I mean, it is what it is. They probably can't.
Yeah. Green Kuma says it might be a hot take, but he does not feel bad for Bombadil getting cut. So that's what Green Kuma thinks.
Most people don't bring it up. Most people don't bring it up, but it did matter to me.
And it was a very small portion of each novel. I mean, it was like, if I read it, it probably took me 5 minutes to get through the Tom Bombadil part. It's not a very big part. But
was it like 2 chapters? I mean, it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't very much. And so I can get if they were going to cut something, that's what they would cut. And like I said, like he Brightest Day said, they probably had a hard time trying to figure it out.
And I believe that. It's just, if I'm going to say one thing disappointed me, that's it.
Yeah. I get it completely.
I wish that was the worst of our problems today.
I know, right?
20 years later, how the mighty have fallen.
I'll be honest. I am glad talking about this. I am because it's not just the everything that happened with Snyder, because that's the main event story of this. Yeah. I am so tired of talking about Hollywood screwing us. At what point do you leave them? At what point do you leave this abusive relationship? And you did. And that's why when you were talking about your story, I'm like, I might be talking to the next token and not know it. I'd rather hear your story. You know what I mean? Because your story is the future. Rather talk about you, Kai. I know Fenrir, if he's watching, he's a writer. You are our future because we're never going to get it from Hollywood. Yes, Kai MF's book. I have a copy as well. Space
I need to get mine. I need to get mine. You guys are made.
I'm on my second read through, so I can do a review for him.
Ooh,
excellent.
Nice.
Our future. We're not going to get properties out of. We may get a few. I'm not going to just discredit them. For the most part.
Joker was a great movie.
Yes,
I love that movie, but it's one.
Yeah,
it's one. That was almost 2 years ago now,
and it was an accident. If Warner Brothers knew what he was doing, they wouldn't have let him do it.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
No, absolutely.
I agree.
Oh, Mike Zero's got a hot new rumor for us, apparently.
Get ready for according to Mike Zero. Is that true? Listen, I've heard about this George Lucas.
Kai's here. Kai's here.
Hey, Kai, MF.
Hey, Kai. What's up?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We got him right here, buddy.
I don't even if the Gina Carano situation never happened, I really truly don't feel like I want a Lucas cut, because you're talking about, okay, so Lucas did a cut of Rise of Skywalker, which has some of the most unlikable characters on the planet. Even George Lucas at his best could not fix what was already a damaged mess. That was beyond repair. Like, I mean, a car can't run without a transmission or an engine, and a lot of those main characters were supposed to be the transmission and the engine, and they could not run. They couldn't run, and they tried for 2 whole movies they tried to give them a jump start using all the proper parts, and it didn't work. And you can't take the best mechanic to fix that type of car.
I have 2 thoughts on this. It is possible they could have fixed it after Force Awakens. However,
I can see that.
I only say possible because they'd already killed Han Solo and didn't put them all 3 on screen.
And bad dadded him.
Yeah. So, I mean, the fact that Han Solo was a failed father, husband,
that pisses me off so
piece
bad.
of crap. Yeah. I don't think it could have been fixed.
Nope.
I don't think that part could have been fixed.
Yep, it was done for.
Yeah,
that actually sickens me now that you remind me of that. Oh my god.
They could have righted the ship for the rest of what was left, though.
They could have.
That was done, couldn't be fixed.
But in fact, what they should have done is said, okay, they both end up with Luke Skywalker training, and Rey finds out she's a Palpatine and she turns.
Yeah.
And Finn has to go and save her and turn her back. That should have been the whole effing story.
Yeah. Hell, you would have gave the Reylo something.
Yep.
You would have actually thrown them a bone in the process.
Yes.
Reylos are freaky human beings. I just learned today because of Yellow Flash, what they did.
What did they
went to apparently they got a hold of where Adam Driver lives, and were annoying him and his family.
No.
They wanted him to marry Daisy Ridley in real life.
They were talking. They were talking about kidnapping.
They really are weird, and not the good kind of weird. The worst type of.
Wait a second. They're talking about kidnapping wives and we're the toxic fans.
And that's what I said. We're the toxic fans, and look at what they're doing, not by words, but by action.
Dude, ship stands are so fucking crazy. That's why I don't want anything to do with any fucking shipping in anything.
Yeah,
because they get all stanny and they're fucking crazy.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, we have a real problem in this world where people think that they have to project what they like on everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you don't like what they like, you're a demon from fucking hell.
Yeah.
This chat gets it. This chat gets it.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Love this chat. You guys are killing it out there.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
distant cousin likes your shirt.
And none of us have anything against any actor or actresses that had to spew those bullshit lines.
Dude, Kelly Marie Tran is a beautiful woman.
She is. And they put her in a potato sack. They make her an unlikable character. And then when
fuck was that?
They listen, I have this theory on SJWs that they actually hate every group they champion, and they always prove me right. Yep. Because they always make these characters very unlikable and either like annoying or self-righteous. And then they shame us. But the Raylo thing, man, they should at least go after them on some level. The fact that they just give them a complete pass is pretty fucked up.
And I don't care if you like two characters and you want to see them together. There's fan fiction for that. That's why it exists.
Slash fiction back in the day, right?
Oh yeah,
slash fiction.
Yeah, the Harry Potter stuff with Draco and Harry and all that stuff. They had pages and pages and pages of that stuff, and they were completely content to keep that to themselves.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Mm-hmm. And some of it wasn't badly written. Some of it was not badly written. So, and I like looking at fan fiction sites because there's some talented people in there who are like, what if this happened instead? Those are good things to read.
I like what ifs. What ifs are cool.
Love what ifs.
Of all the MCU shit that's coming out this year, the only thing I'm truly excited about is that what if. Yeah, because that could be fun.
Well, I mean, I canceled my Disney Plus the day of the Gina Carano thing, and the only reason I had it to that point, because I'd canceled it before, but the only reason I had it was because my son wanted to watch Mando. And after Gina, I canceled it, and I looked at him and I said, "If you want Disney Plus, you're gonna have to pay it for yourself. I'm not giving them any more money."
That's respectable. I mean,
I hear it.
Son is near being a teenager. He can support that now if he truly wants to.
He's 20 years old.
Shit. Yeah, come up with $7 a month.
Well, see, here's the thing. We got divorced when he was 4, so I only got him 2 days a week for all those years. If she wasn't mad at me.
Sorry to hear that, man.
So the day he graduated, he moved in.
Nice.
The day he graduated high school. So
I feel that, man. I'm living it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and then Dad's like, my father's like, how come all of a sudden you've got money?
You don't want to know about the 33rd flavor. It exists. It exists.
Oh, I like this. What if, Robert? What if Disney didn't buy Star Wars?
Yes.
Man,
I think if Disney didn't buy Star Wars, he would have sold it to either Fox or Universal.
Yeah.
So you think Disney would have still had it eventually? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't want to work with Amar. I think this is one of those unavoidable conclusions.
He knows he's getting older. He knows he's not going to be able to hold on to it, so he's selling it. And Disney was a good choice at the time.
Yeah,
I thought it was a good choice too. I was in favor of it.
I'm not going to pretend I didn't.
But you know whose fault all this is? Every bit of this is George's fault because he put her in charge.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. He did put her in charge. That's a good point. George actually could have prevented a lot of this because there was a time where this move in a perfect world, more perfect world, we should say, could have worked. Because, I mean, if you do that, there have been R-rated or darker stuff attached to Disney. It may not have been directly by their name, but at one point, Disney was affiliated with Miramax, and they were able to Touchstone as well. So they've been able to. Disney was at one point capable of finding loopholes of putting out adult-oriented content or just darker content in general.
My favorite Disney cartoon of all time is the Black Cauldron.
Oh yeah, I remember Black. Yeah,
and you can't.
Parrot head.
I know the chat is so awesome. We love you guys, but they're cooking on the panel, so I want to give them.
No.
Parrot head. That's the 34th flavor. The 33rd. The 33rd's on the other side. Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry to cut you off, Nick.
No, that dude for that
That is hilarious.
Worth it.
These
guys. I want to bring up some Soul Assassin. Here's the thing, though. I don't believe if the Star Wars controversy never happened, I don't think there would be a fandom menace, because once that community got they went straight to the top. When they wanted to crush a fandom, they went straight to the top, and that is what created the fandom menace. Would there be a fandom menace without all the Star Wars controversy? I don't think so.
No.
Well, there was a fandom menace before.
To the extent that we have now.
But there was one from the Phantom Menace on, wasn't it?
Yes, the Phantom Menace is what created the Fandom Menace. And the Fandom Menace back then was actually as big as it is now. We just didn't have YouTube and all that. It was all on message boards.
Oh, what are you guys saying?
The
Critical the flavor. One and two taste like sweat. Some flavors are.
I believe that's called. I believe that's called taint.
Where's Toxic Man Flu when I need him? I need Toxic Man Flu here. That's where is that guy when I need him?
It's a swirly.
A dirty swirly.
Oh boy.
And I'm not even high.
I can't speak for the chat.
My friend.
I can't speak for the rest of the chat though. I love you guys.
These guys are great. It's become like a given now. Like now that people know like the name, they're like, how fast can we sexualize his name? It's becoming a hold my beer at this rate. Like
it was.
I hope this becomes tradition.
Yeah, in a way, Ryan No Johnson or Rianne No Johnson is the father. I'll say the mother Phantom Menace because I vaguely do remember the original Phantom.
Well, I mean, I'm almost 50 years old, so
now they're trying to talk energy drink. Busting up parts.
Oh my god!
Right? Toxic Tropic Thunder.
Yes, Tropic Thunder.
Tropic
Dude, we got to do a stream on Tropic Thunder one of these days.
Booty Sweat energy drink should be Stephen Walton's new product.
Oh man,
Robert,
enemas and sweaty drinks.
Yeah, this place got adult quick, or middle school quick. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't think it's adult.
We were just talking about all this fandom, and then all of a sudden, Wieners and Nick Weiser, and then it was Booty Sweat energy drinks,
a little bit of taint here and there.
Nick Weiser knew exactly what he was doing when he created that name.
Oh, indeed. Robert, yes, you have correctly identified where the 33rd flavor comes from.
Oh man, this is awesome. Oh, Vigilante. He has to roll. Can't stick around. I appreciate you being here, distant cousin in the Vigilante tribe. We appreciate
you. Thank you. Nice to meet you, bud.
Absolutely.
Vigilante, have a good evening.
You thought this stream was going off the rails, Vigilante.
No, these streams always go off the rails. They never. I have never done a Brave in the Boat that stayed on subject ever. So
I think the 35th flavor must have chased Vigilant out. I think.
So Vigilante, does your name come from Remo Williams?
No. Okay, so the origin of my name is actually a sports origin. So I used to be a sports fan. I guess I still am. So I'm a Pistons fan. I'm from Detroit. I don't currently live there. There's a player who used to play on the Pistons named Corliss Williamson, and he was the sixth man of the year. And I just liked him, and he was a cool player. And that team won a championship, but it's kind of like forgotten. And I just thought like I wanted to represent that. The idea of being like a hardworking guy. You may not remember him, but he still was great. He still won a championship, and you can't take that away.
I remember him.
If you watch basketball from the area, you're like, I remember Big Nasty. He was just one of those played to Sacramento too. If you watch the game, you remember him. So
when you've got people like Pippen and Jordan in the same era, you kind of forget that kind of thing.
Yeah, you forget the forgotten player. So it was kind of represent that kind of forgotten player.
And you took that personally, Vigilante?
No, not
but you know, I played football from the time I was 8 years old until I was 19, and I played my first year in junior college. But I was too small. I weighed like 220, and I was a lineman.
Oh.
But
well, they got speed linemen now. A lot of smaller guys are fast.
Well, I didn't have speed either. I came from a 2A school. Like my graduating class was 35 people. So the only reason I got the scholarship in the first place is because I got all state, and that's not hard to do when you're in, you know, we played both ways. We didn't have an offense and a defense. We
that's where that
came out wrong.
Comes in.
It came out wrong. But you know what?
I do not associate myself with any of the flavors mentioned above.
Oh boy, I'm missing them. What's the flavor? 34 plays good. Walnuts, this is great. Oh, this is great.
You're gonna have to go back, Vigilante, and clip some of this.
I probably should.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go back and clip some of this, man.
I'm crying.
This has become the chat is going to try to break us. Like no matter what we do, the chat's determined to just like, yo, we will break you.
You're lucky Man Flu's not here because he would break us all.
We always say the chat is the most important part of the stream, right? Yep, and they're proving it right now.
Speaking of chat, I gotta say something about YouTube. Bear Nerd Fun, who I love a bunch, just resubscribe to me. I say because he's subbed to me before. I'm sick of YouTube. And I just seen that you sub. Thank you, brother. But I'm sick of YouTube doing that to people because I know you were subbed before. Right? And that's getting on my nerves.
I know, VW. That happened to me with Comics Division. I had to resubscribe to his channel and his live channel. I was like, what the? I'm on a panel with this guy and I watch his video. What are you doing?
Well, it was like the time Gary got unsubscribed from Yellow Flash while he was on the stream with him. You know?
Well, it's like I went up 40 subs the past 2 or 3 weeks, thanks to Culture, thanks to Nina, thanks to everybody, and as soon as I got those 40 subs, I dropped 2.
Hold on, Rajesh's comments. Whoa! Yeah.
I had to do that with Doomcock. Yeah, resub to Nerd Rider, even though I'm paid member. That happened with I almost when I first started subbing to Doomcock.
How can you get unsubbed when you're a paid member, for Christ's sake?
Yeah, I think that the way YouTube is built, just as a tech, I think it is a platform that they've got all these modules layered on top of one another, and they don't really know how it works either.
Spaghetti programming.
I do think that. I do think there is an element of we are lost in the sauce and we don't know how to fix this.
Exactly. I don't know. I've worked with a lot of companies, especially those in India, because they have to call my ass for support now.
Love it.
Yes. So yeah, I work overnight on the weekends. Like I'm working right now.
Yep.
I'm watching servers. I'm doing all that good stuff. But so I'm the only person, I guess, in the entire world who's willing to stay up overnight and answer questions from Australia, India, and Italy. But they're like, well, we've got this thing and it's built this way. And I'm like, it's not built that way.
Yeah. YouTube lost
you have absolutely no idea how you've got this thing built. It just started working. You tinkered with it till it started working. Yeah. And now when it breaks, you have no freaking clue on how it works. That's the way a lot of systems are set up right now.
Yeah. Real quick, I had to. Brightest Day is correct. Chat is why YouTube is better. I cannot agree more. As a fan, I like that's what even got me to do a YouTube channel was being a fan and being in the chats, interacting with people, interacting with whoever the creator was. It was like this is fun. I want to do this.
I'm subbed to. I still have a Netflix account for the kid, and I've got HBO Max. I never watch them. Never. I'm on YouTube. I'm watching people on YouTube.
I watch for the review purposes. Right. So, full disclosure, I do still have a D+ account because I don't have any other way to access the stuff. I am not knowledgeable in the ways of Tortuga. So,
I'm not either.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't, there are certain things that people want to watch that are going to be on there. I mean, just for me personally, I just decided not to give them any more money. I even deleted a couple apps that I played games on my phone that was related to Disney, and I killed them.
Yep.
Because, and you guys that do pop culture commentary, I tried to do that when I started my channel because I enjoyed it so much, from Jeremy to Ryan to Nerdrotic to Doomcock to EVS, and then the fourth wave, Walton and Sporking and Culture.
I think we're fifth. The three of us,
wave?
Yeah, I think if you're going to call it something.
I said we are fifth.
I was going to say, I've been told I'm fourth, but whatever. I don't care. Fourth, maybe I'll be. I think I'm a hybrid.
4.5.
Yeah, I've been kind of popping in and out to the fourth wave since the fourth wave kind of launched. But I mean, it's
big D+.
There you go.
I just checked my Streamlabs. Ogre Squasher, thank you again. Ogre Squasher is insane, so he gives me this insane amount of super chats and donations. He donated $50.
Whoa!
Again,
Ogre Squasher.
This is not the first time he's done it. Ogre Squasher, you're literally funding me. This is the Vigilante Williamson channel, sponsored and brought to you by Ogre Squasher. Thank you so much for another insane donation. I hope you're still here.
Did he send a message with the donation?
No, he never does. He just tosses money.
I want to make an announcement. Going back to how we have to create. Now, I don't do pop culture stuff because I'm just not comfortable doing it. I like some of the things that, look, I'm a creative. So I lean toward, I wouldn't say I'm a social justice guy. I kind of lean that, I have a lot of empathy. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you go and you look at Neil Gaiman, Stephen King, any popular fiction writer, they're the same way. They lean to the left because it has to do with understanding character and people. You have to do it on an emotional level to write because you write with emotion. If you don't write with emotion, it doesn't make sense. So I like things that a lot of the Phantom Menace don't like, right? Like there was a show on Sci-Fi that I saw on the Seed.
Cool.
That I saw on CW Seed. It was the prequel thing to Superman. It was Krypton, and I heard a lot of people, oh, it's bad. I really enjoyed it, but I don't know lore, so there's that. But so I just said, look, I'm a writer. I'm going to create my own shit. And after I got started, now everybody's like, we need to create our own stuff. So I took my second channel that used to be the George Big Dick Lucas channel, which is
George Biggest Dick is Lucas. I remember that.
and if that's what actually got me started in the Phantom Menace because Jeremy made a suggestion. I was high off my ass, so I changed my name on my account. And then people started following me. I had 500 followers on Twitter before I even knew it. So
amazing.
I remember that name in the chats, man.
So I've taken that channel and I've renamed it Storyman Jack and Friends. And this is going to be a community channel. Whoever wants to send me a story, no matter who they are, no matter what they're writing, even if they want to have it posted anonymously, I will read it. I will produce it. I will put it on my channel, on that Storyman Jack and Friends channel, and I will never monetize that channel.
Interesting.
If somebody decides that they no longer want it there, I will take it down and I will send it to them. I will not retain any of it. And that's on the intro to that channel I uploaded today.
Outstanding, man.
And it is called
Chad as well. I just found it.
It is Storyman Jack and Friends.
Yep.
And
it's not 40 subs. I just subbed. And I want you guys to sub in the chat. Please do. Sub to both Storyman Jack's channels, please.
And so I am going to put it out there for anybody who has a story. I mean, our lives are a story. Everybody is telling a story, right? We're all individuals. We all have our own perspectives. We can create anybody can create something better than the crap coming out of Hollywood. For the most part.
Absolutely. Because they're not coming from a creative perspective on any vision. And real quick, KMFS, this is a reveal. You're George Big Dick Lucas. This is huge.
He revealed himself. He showed us it.
Yeah.
Exclusive to the
biggest
Brave and the
Dickus does have to reveal himself on occasion, you know.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, if you watch Sporking, he'll
Granakuma can draw, by the way, Robert. Granakuma, who's in this chat, he can draw. Yeah. So you want a comic story to make? Let's collab. Granakuma's in the chat. He can draw. Talk to
get together.
And you guys go on my channel. I have, like I said, 63 stories. If you want to adapt one to a comic, I will give it to you. All I ask is if you change anything, because it will have to be changed and adapted, of course, that you tell me before you change it and let me approve it. That's it. And it's free. I would not want any royalties. All I would want is my name as the story creator. That's it.
Wow.
So comic book artists, hit me up. You see a story on the only exclusion to that is my latest story, Circle Driven, because I do kind of have a co-author and I don't want to step on any toes. And
well, yeah, I mean, if you're really co-author, it's two people. Yeah.
He wouldn't mind, I don't think, but that's kind of
that's understandable. Real quick, gotta say hi to my partner in crime fighting, Matt from Fireball Productions, Culture Crime Fighters. We do the Culture Crime Fighters every week, Wednesday. I think it's on my channel this week. So stay sub here and sub to Matt as well.
Yeah, that's right, Kai. If you're not crying while you're writing something where you want people to cry, they ain't going to.
Oh, and just for what it's worth, because Matt, I know you mentioned it a bunch of times on the stream last night. You were definitely monetized because I got ads when I popped into it, and then when I watched the replay this morning, so you were monetized last night.
Cool.
Congratulations on that. Congratulations.
Nice.
I mean, I'm up. I bumped from at the beginning of the month. I had 240 subs.
Nice.
Now I have 272.
Nah, you got a couple more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, let's try to get
a few folks, including me, sub to you on the stream, man.
Oh, I appreciate it. I try to put 2 stories out a week and do one live stream.
Boom,
and I say a lot of my stories on there are mediocre, but that's because of production time. So you got to understand, you write it, you create it out of thin air, you give it a day or two, and then you reread it and fix it. And then typically you want to wait about 3 months to 6 months before you rewrite it completely and edit it. Because the way the human brain works is when you're reading through your own work, if you've just finished it, any holes that appear, your brain's filling them in.
Oh,
so you think nothing's wrong. Yeah.
I cannot edit my own work.
Yeah, you have to let yourself forget it. And then go back to it. Stephen King talks about this a lot. The Stand, he wrote it and then he put it in a drawer for 5 years. And then he rewrote it. In fact, he got there's this. Have you guys seen or listened to The Stand or read it?
Well,
all
Jake
of the
D
above.
had viewed the TV show. He wasn't a fan of it, but it was
the new one.
God, it was awful.
The new one or the original?
The new one.
The new one. I'm actually
where they made shit up he didn't write.
Yeah, I'm working on a comparison between that one and the '94 miniseries. It's going to be a long form video.
I have a review of I have 2 reviews of the miniseries on my channel. Mm-hmm. One about the characters and one about the story.
Yeah, you're talking 94. You're talking 2020.
94.
Yeah,
2020. I didn't even bother because number one, they added shit that wasn't in there. Right.
Yeah.
And then they completely changed one of the main characters.
More than one.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about Ralph, but that was bad too. Although the actress did a really good job with it.
You know, with her, it wasn't so bad, with the exception that once they got to Vegas and they're having the conversation with Larry, she's delivering word for word the dialogue that Ralph in the book did. And it made no fucking sense when it was dialogue between a man and a woman. When it was dialogue between 2 men, it was extremely powerful because there's a different dynamic between male
that
friends
relationship.
And opposite sex friends. Okay. I mean, I believe that they were friends and had, a closeness, but the man's words coming out of her mouth made no fucking sense.
And then they should have switched I forget her name who played Rita in the new one.
Heather.
Yeah. I love that chick. I've had a crush on her for years.
Yeah.
But they should have switched her with Amber Heard and let her be Nadine. And then they changed Nadine completely. Yeah. It was horrifying.
Oh.
And then Nick was horrible. The guy who played Nick was horrible.
Well,
how dare they ruin my name?
I'm going to take an exception on that, Jack. And here's why. He didn't get a chance to really do much of anything.
You're right.
It wasn't.
They cut a lot of his shit out.
Yeah,
a lot.
I can't evaluate the acting job because the writing was so shit for him. So I can't even say how I felt about his acting job.
Well, and then Trash Can Man was horrible too.
Oh Jesus!
I mean, Trash Can Man was junk. It was like here's what I think they said. We can't do Matt for we can't even come close to that performance. So we're just gonna phone that one in.
Ezra Klein or Ezra Miller. Sorry, not Klein. Yeah. Ezra Miller was. I mean, I don't like him as the Barry Allen Flash.
He did a good job with what he was given.
I don't even know what the fuck he was as Trash Can Man.
He was trying to play it like he was super, super schizo.
He was, but he's not. He didn't play Barry Allen. And regardless of how anyone feels about the CW, early on when the Flash show was new, that guy actually felt like Barry Allen. Grant Gustin. He actually felt like Barry Allen. And I will stand up for that.
I loved the first season
was
of Flash.
Phenomenal.
Really I like the second. The
second one's good too.
And second started off good, but as it went on,
it got a little convoluted.
Which is what I'm afraid is going to happen with Lois, Superman and Lois.
Oh, it probably will. So far, so good. I mean, we do have to say that. We have so far, so good with Superman and Lois.
I'm just glad Superman's being treated well. About damn
quick
time.
Check in with the chat. Rajesh, when we were talking about letting work sit, he says does the same thing with his photo work. He walks away from the editing from 1 to 3 days, then returns with a fresh pair of eyes. And KMFS with this alternative, having a critique partner. It accelerates the process tremendously. So you don't have to walk away from it. Somebody else will do it.
The only thing about a critique partner is you have to know that person a lot, really, really well, and they have to know you really, really well. Like I said, I handed my novel to my ex-wife who I trusted and loved, and she told me I was shit and to give it up, and I did.
And was she your ex at the time?
No. And then I mean, you can go and listen to that first chapter. It's basically a story of 3 characters. It's their introduction. And I thought somebody else wrote it when I reread it. Of course, I hadn't seen it in 10 years. But I was crying while I was reading it.
Oh wow! I'll have to check.
You can hear in my voice the emotion, especially on the next chapter, because this was an adaptation of a Dungeons and Dragons game where we made up the entire realm, and the characters in it were characters based on people who played. So back then, I didn't understand character as well. But you can't tell that from listening to this novel because it's based on personalities of real people.
It's the Circles Riven.
Circles Riven.
Okay, I'm gonna put the link to that in the chat as well.
That's the first chapter. And I need to go back and lower the levels on the background music because I changed.
Oh, Snorter poop is Next drove me to drink and never thanked her properly. Goodness gracious.
Well, I will say this. My ex-wife and I get along very, very well now. When we were married, she threatened to divorce me almost every day because I smoked. She smokes 2 packs a day now.
Ooh.
I mean,
yeah,
everything I tried to get her into, like Stargate and Star Wars and stuff, she wouldn't have nothing to do with it. After we got divorced, she had the entire Stargate collection and went and had pictures taken with the cast.
Dude.
So
it's not in context, but LMAO, what in the world? That's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, we get along just fine now because she's become more sane. I say more sane.
It sounds
you did say more, not
yeah.
There's still a qualifier, so it sounds like you don't think she's quite all the way there.
No. I mean, this woman kicked me out of the house, divorced me, and kept everything I owned. I went to pick up my kid for the first time, and her boyfriend's wearing my clothes.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh man, brightest day, and I'm sorry to hear about this. Still waiting on the second divorce to go through and destroy what's left of his midlife.
I'm looking for my fourth ex-wife right now. So
all right, brightest day. Brightest day. Just cheat on your left hand with your right hand.
There you go.
That's how you get the 36th flavor.
She just reserves her crazy for someone else.
I'll tell you what. This is how crazy this week's been. At 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday, I clocked out of work. And I'm getting ready to go to bed. I'm about to get in the shower, and somebody's banging on my door. Bang, bang, bang. I mean, like, furiously banging.
Okay.
Open my door, and this one of the most beautiful 30 to 35-year-old girls I've ever seen. She weighs about 120 pounds, triple D's, round. I mean, just beautiful. But she had her nose looked like somebody had thrown her to the concrete and scraped it real bad right here. And she had a really fat lip, and she was starting to get marks on her neck like somebody had tried to choke her. And she's like stumbling, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" She goes, "God just beat me up, took my phone and wallet, and left. Can I borrow your phone to call my dad?" So I just called her dad for her, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, can you hang out with her until I get there? It's gonna be about 30 minutes or so. I'm like, sure. I had to almost carry her to her house, which is, I live in a set of duplexes. There's 4 of them, and I live on one corner, and evidently she just moved in on the other. Well, she's drunk. It's now 8:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning, and she's so drunk she can't stand up.
Whoa.
So I basically carry her home, put her on her couch, and I'm just sitting on the other side of the couch talking to her. She starts taking her freaking clothes off.
Whoa.
And I'm like,
out.
I stand up and I said, I think I'm gonna go outside. You know?
Yeah.
She's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm like, no, it's
no,
not.
it's not.
No.
She goes, but what if I'm willing? I'm like, you're drunk. You're not. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
You're not.
No, that's
that's
a smart choice.
Yeah. I go outside. Her dad finally gets there, and I'm like, dude, this is the thing. He's like, she has mental problems, and she's on disability. When she gets her check, she drinks through it until it's gone.
Oh man.
Wow.
And I'm thinking all the way back to my house, God, stop doing this to me. You put this girl on my doorstep. What is wrong with you?
You made the right choice, Jack.
Yeah,
that's all I can say, man. You made the right choice.
I went to bed. My son wakes me up at 5 o'clock. He said, that chick has been knocking on the door every other hour all day.
Jesus.
Whoa.
Wow.
Well, good luck going forward with that one, because that's
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
The very next day, she got her daughter back, because evidently they have shared custody, and apparently she doesn't drink while she's got her daughter.
That's actually a good commendable
That's a good thing.
Yeah. So I haven't. She's waved at me as I've driven by, but that's it.
God tests us in strange ways. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like
man, Jack.
He's like God's like, are you really lonely? Here, let me show you what's up there.
Yeah. Why are the crazies so damn hot?
I am telling you. I mean, Amber Heard is one of the hottest chicks on television. She's insane.
Yeah. Well, to lay down the law, Canadian style, our own Egyptian god, our Canadian Egyptian god, Lord Thoth is showing.
Lord Thoth!
Gentlemen.
It is the thought.
Hail to you and hail to the chat. Good to see y'all.
How y'all doing?
has been cooked.
Now
Glad
it
you
is a
made
party.
it, brother.
Hey, it's good to see you, Jake D. How was the trip?
Oh man, I am
Relax, yeah.
so relaxed, Thoth.
You look a little darker too.
I'm
There.
tanned. I'm relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go a little transracial here. Get a little more color to the chat. That's what I was after.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, oh God, that's gonna get clipped.
I did.
We're canceled again.
Yeah.
I did that 23andMe thing. I am like 70% Irish Celtic. I'm 20% Welsh, and the rest is from Central Africa.
Wow.
And I found that out because I'd always heard these stories, and my uncle had gone on Ancestry.com. My Irish ancestor was an indentured servant, and he died in indenture. His son married a runaway slave from the South, from Alabama.
Oh,
You know what? That must have been a phenomenon. Okay, I'm black, but like I have a great, and I don't know how many greats. Grandfather, he's Irish. He was an Irish man, and he came and married a black woman as soon as he got here.
Well, basically, indentured servants were the slaves of the North.
Slaves, yeah.
They were the slaves of the North because they were like, oh, well, they had contracts and all that. Yeah, they had contracts. So did slaves.
Yeah, because it's the same like the sharecropping thing, basically.
sharecropping after,
They had contracts, but they would find any excuse whatsoever to increase that debt on those people to keep them enslaved forever.
Absolutely.
That's why sharecroppers couldn't get off the sharecropping in the post-war Reconstruction era.
They don't talk about how that they were.
So when we have this grand conversation of slavery, people don't understand it's not just black people.
Yeah,
it's not just the Africans,
and it's not a thing of the past.
No,
it's not. As we see in China and other countries outside of that.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds like a bottomless Visa card to me.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say. With open borders, we're creating another slave class.
Absolutely,
exactly what they
because
want.
they cannot get paid what they should be earning. That's slavery.
Yeah.
In my honest
white slavery was definitely real, and still unfortunately is, and it's not. Man, the narratives they push are so ahistorical.
It's I don't know. I don't know if it's intentional. I don't know if they leave out the white part intentionally or not, because even when I was in school and they didn't push any leftist crap and they just gave us the facts, they didn't talk about indentured servitude like they did slavery.
No,
they never have.
No, they didn't. I'm younger than you, but not as much younger than you as you'd think, Jack. And we didn't get that. I mean, to really learn about that. I mean, I've got my undergrad in history and political science, and even there, it was barely touched.
Yeah.
There's a lot about history that isn't history, but Snorterpoopus in his attempts to get us. Snorterpoopus Q Burr, if you haven't known from the Avatar, he is a polar bear, and we're respectful to all species here at the Vigilante Williamson channel. His DNA is 100% polar bear, part 45 Irish. Not sure how it happened, but I suspect whiskey was involved.
We know how that. You know how the Irish are whenever they find a good bottle, right?
Yeah.
Well, see, I don't drink anymore because I don't crave alcohol, but when I drink it, all of it.
That's a good reason not to. Yeah.
Well, when I was in the military, I was stationed at Keesler for tech school in Mississippi. Is Biloxi. I had the Biloxi Blues, and
Army boy,
Air Force.
Air Force, good man.
So New Orleans was an hour one way and Pensacola was an hour the other, right? We had a 4-day weekend, and I got two stories. This is the second one. But
wait, real quick, I wanted to say Ogre Squasher's leaving. He funds the channel, so I gotta say bye. Thank you, Ogre Squasher. Thank you for the extreme super chat. I appreciate it. You do not have to do that ever again, but thank you if you do.
Later, Ogre Squasher.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah,
Pensacola. I don't know. I prefer Coca-Cola myself.
Yeah.
I don't know. My old man and my brother were both stationed at Pensacola.
We were
Been there.
We were given a 4-day weekend because the military have these days called maintenance days. So you get an extra holiday thrown in. So we had a 4-day weekend, and I'd never been to New Orleans before. I remember drinking 2 32-ounce Hurricanes, and then I woke up Sunday afternoon in Panama City Beach, Florida, in nothing but my boxer shorts and dog tags, and had to borrow money to use a payphone and call my first sergeant.
That was a good weekend.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah, I wish I remember it. I wish I remember.
To reset, you started drinking in New Orleans. You ended up in Panama City.
Yeah,
That's
I
Nothing but
remember.
your boxers and dog tags.
I remember finishing the second hurricane, and I don't remember anything after that until I was waking up on the beach with hospitalizing sunburns.
Whoa.
It's a good thing you woke up.
Yeah, that is. So I had to stay a week in the hospital because of the sunburns, and then I got 2 weeks in correctional custody because I damaged government property.
Wait. Yourself?
Damn it.
Yes.
Whoa!
It's called Article 8. Your body belongs to the government. If you damage it, you can be charged with a crime, according to the UCMJ. Yes.
Goodness gracious!
That's what that pink piece of paper says.
Did you go AWOL?
My first sergeant I was back in time, but he had to come get my ass.
Oh, yeah. I am sure he did not appreciate that.
No, that's why I spent 2 weeks in correctional custody. So he already didn't like me,
Robert.
He already didn't like me, and here's why. On our first Mardi Gras, they call everybody up, right? And they give this great big speech in front of the entire flight and squadron, right? Do not get in trouble during Mardi Gras. If you get in trouble during Mardi Gras, you will go to jail.
You had
Don't
me at
get in
Mardi
any
Gras.
fights. Do not do any of that. So we go to Mardi Gras, and Keesler is a joint base. It is a Marine base and an Air Force base. So we were drinking in a dance club, and there's some Marines there that we knew, and they picked a fight, and we all got in a fight. We all got arrested. So unfortunately, I was the soberest of us, and they wanted me to call the first sergeant and let him know. They'd already told us, if you have to call us from jail, you're in deep doo-doo. Well, as the officer is taking me over to where the phone is, this lady gets drugged through she's screaming and kicking and fighting and biting and yelling, and she's completely naked, and she's getting drugged through the holding area and gets thrown into her own cell by herself.
Was that wife number 2?
No.
That was wife number 1.
So I get on the phone. So I just smiled to myself. I know I'm safe now. So I get on the phone, and I'll tell you why in a second. My first sergeant goes, Airman Sisk, your commanding officer told you. I said, stop right there. She just got drugged through here and sit in the holding cell and she's naked.
Oh,
so that bastard hung up on me. Captain.
Wow.
Lewis.
Yep. You lived in an action movie.
I tell people all the time that I used to have this really interesting life. But anyway.
God, it reminds me. So, my kid brother, man, he got dragged to captain's mast about a week after the captain told the base, any more Deweys, you better watch out. We might throw you out with a dishonorable, right?
Yep. That was a hovering threat all the time.
Week after that speech, sure enough, my brother gets a Dewey, and he gets hauled up to captain's mast, right? And I mean, captain throws the book at him. He was up for another stripe in like 3 weeks.
Oh no!
So not only was he not eligible for that stripe, he got bucked a stripe.
Oh.
And,
well,
no. It gets better. It gets better.
Oh, Billy Mays.
Okay,
pal. There's more.
But wait, there's more. So my brother.
Does he want you to be telling this story?
It's more. So he got bucked 2 stripes at captain's mast over a Dewey, right? 2 months later, who do you think got a dishonorable for a Dewey?
Oh no!
The captain.
You know what? Do you want to know what our base commander did to that chick? He took her bars away and then sent her to Greenland.
Woo,
bro.
Well,
as a
Robert wants
butter
to know,
bar.
did she have double D's? That's the most important.
I don't know. Those uniforms are not very flattering.
See, Robert's got his head on straight
dragged
right there.
naked through the.
Well, you can't. I couldn't tell. She was screaming and kicking, and I saw a
He
lot
was
more
just
than I
the
needed
most
to.
sober. He was kind of
Yeah.
drunk at the time as well.
I mean, with my beer goggles on, she looked great.
Well,
I
there
mean,
you
but
go.
I mean,
I have beer
But-
goggles in real life, so that's not really
but-
like.
but I've had to
Not-
chew
like
my arm off
naturalize a beer
before
goggle.
too, so that's not saying anything.
What the hell can you say?
I think I think you got the chat all excited when you said you were at a joint base.
The whole world's not like Canada, though. It's not like.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. It's legal.
It's decriminalized where I am, and I trust it's decriminalized everywhere.
It is decriminalized up here too.
All
Right? I stand
well,
corrected. It's
I'm in Texas, and it's illegal, but nobody arrests you for it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna go medical this year in Texas, I think. How about you, Jack?
As soon as Abbott's out of office, it will go full.
Yeah.
He's the only obstacle right now.
I
He
don't know why
refuses
it's
to do it. Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, it should be decriminalized. It shouldn't be
Completely
illegal
off.
to smoke a joint.
I
I would much rather be arresting guys who've been smoking joints than guys who've been drinking. Because the guys who have been drinking, I'm going to be fighting with them.
Yep,
But the
we're
guys who
gonna
are
try and
smoking the
fight.
joints are like, hey man, yeah, just take me away. Because it's better. It's better eating in your prison, dude.
yeah.
So that's it.
Dude,
Yeah. Oh, you mean I get stale
staying
bread
on topic?
instead of stale
That's
ramen?
right. Yeah. Well, yeah, in the cells we used to cook them Chef Boyardee. You take the can out, throw it in the microwave, and they'd say, "Man, I got the munchies. Can you hit me up another one of that ravioli?" So yeah,
There you go.
Oh my God, Thoth. For
Oh,
a beer stream,
Jesus.
you're just gonna tell me stories of what it's like life at the cell. I want to hear these stories.
there's a lot of good stories I can
Oh,
tell
I
you.
can't
Oh,
wait.
man.
Yeah.
I miss the military.
Dude, we guys, we do got to do that beer stream one.
Oh,
of
we
these
will.
days.
You
Yeah, I
guys
think
shoot
you're right.
me. I'm gonna. What happens is Thoth. You obviously know what to send me with the email, so that way I can ship it. And Jake, I got your email, so I'll just I'll send that to you too to Texas. I'll send it to Canada, VW if you want to take part.
Yeah.
You're welcome to as well. Or you guys, I'm gonna ship you guys
Sorry.
all a Chicago beer, and yeah, it's gonna
Old
it's gonna be
style? You gonna send me some old style?
Jack of
See,
all
I don't
casualties.
actually like beer.
That's exactly why I don't drink anymore.
That's all good.
Oh,
No,
boy.
you don't want to drink.
That was a good story, man, Jack. And Hale, hey, it's great to be on a stream with you. I like your stuff, man. It's good stuff.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Hey, V-Dubs, I got to check out of here, brother. But
No problem.
hey, thank you for having us on. And it was my great pleasure to make sure this went completely off topic today.
I am so happy we're not talking about Zack Snyder. You have no idea. I don't want to talk about it.
It was
Let's
great.
talk about this.
It was great to meet another Texan.
You betcha, man. Dude, we're collecting everybody down here in Texas, man.
I'll be a Texan.
Ryan and Gary will probably be here soon.
V-Dub's on his way here for too long.
And where the
Yeah,
hell is
that's
Foul
right.
Ball? Why isn't he on
Foul
here?
Ball's going to be here in 10 days.
Yeah.
I just bought 40 acres out
Oh.
in the middle of nowhere.
Smart.
And it does have actual internet out there. So
Hey, you can get Musk's satellite shit now.
Before Jake leaves, he needs
Well,
to see that one last comment.
I'll tell you what, at least satellite has gotten better. Satellite's gotten better.
All right,
But
gentlemen, chat.
have a great day.
Later,
Take it
Jake.
easy.
See you tomorrow, dude.
Take her easy.
I'll get you guys the link this evening.
Sounds good.
And yeah, Hell 24/7 Fusion Me. I saw you in the chat earlier, and yeah, we are having a lot of fun, man. If you want a link, I'll figure a way to get you a link. If you want to hop on,
Yeah.
Man, that's 247, man.
yeah.
Up here in Canada, that's a case of beer, man. 2-4.
Yeah.
2 for $7.
Yeah.
All right, let me see if I can get you a link. I think you're on Twitter, so I'm getting 24/7 Me. Yeah, this was supposed. Well, this show has a tradition of never staying on topic. We like I almost never, and that's great because like a lot of topics I'll come up as the topic of the week, and it's like okay, I've already done so many streams on Zack Snyder. I really didn't want to.
Right.
Well,
just
I
followed
mean,
me.
it's this weekend. That's all anybody's going to be talking about. I mean,
yeah. Well, people got to be fair. We gotta let it out. Some people just gotta let it out. Just get it done with, over with, and that way we can make it nothing more than a past memory.
I think in a few days, Uche's gonna have something for us from Zach apology. He said so on his stream, and I trust Uche. I may not agree with him. I need to stop saying that because it doesn't matter whether we agree with people or not. If they're good people, they're good people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think whatever happened was unfortunate. I don't think anybody was intentionally mean or doing anything intentional. I think a lot of people took it the wrong way. I was hurt. I was too. But I don't think Zach is the kind of man that would have done that intentionally. From everything,
he looked uncomfortable before he did it. I pointed that out.
He was on a stream earlier, and he did not do that to any of the streams he was on earlier. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he
WB made him do that.
I absolutely believe
should
that
not
WB
went on the
did
stream.
that.
Then he should have not went on the stream.
One thing I will say, as far as Uche goes, my only issue with him, it was how he treated the people afterwards.
Yes,
I have no issue with how he handled it live.
He was an asshole to them.
TV.
He was an ass to the chat during the thing too.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Right during and then after, and that I did not like.
I cannot judge because I'm a hothead. I'm a freaking redneck. I'm a hothead, and I would have probably done the same thing. Trying to deal with it and then getting insulted by the chat. I can't judge him.
I'm a hothead too, but I'm not going to judge.
But I'm also going to say, hey, I know you raised money, but it was a lot of our money that you used to raise it. So don't son us and that. But like I said, I had no problem with what he did live because I know if it was me live, I would have froze. And 24/7 Fusion, I just sent you a link so you can hop on, but I would have froze. I know,
and that's all I'm saying is I don't want to disavow Uche for anything he did because I don't know how
he apologized. To be fair, he apologized. So
I don't know how I would have handled it, so I can't judge him.
Yeah, I know I cannot have handled that moment as well as he did. I know for a fact I cannot.
But I tell you what, Jeremy, Ryan, and Lethal are much better men than me. Much better men than me.
I feel bad for those guys because, like, if I was there in the moment, I mean, one, I would have never told off the people who are donating money, but I would have been shocked. Like, I probably would have been stunned, like stone cold, to hear that comment because, especially for Lethal Lightning, he was one of the biggest campaigns.
And he didn't even watch it yet. He hasn't even watched it yet.
Yeah, I do know that.
He hasn't watched it yet.
He looks heartbroken.
I feel hurt for him.
Gut wrenching. He looks so heartbroken. So heartbroken.
But I trust Uche. He said that there's something coming. I trust in him. And if it doesn't come, I think this shit's going to blow over anyway. I mean, these guys' channels grew because of it.
Yeah,
true.
I mean, Jeremy said
even
last
my
night,
channel grew because of it. My little small sector of the world.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, Jeremy said last night that they gained 4,000 subs just from that this weekend. So, I mean, it is what it is. There's gonna be the way this stuff works. There's gonna be miscommunication, especially when you're dealing with somebody who has obligations to an entity like Disney or WB or whatever, right? I mean, Warner wouldn't have even done this at all if it would have been up to them. AT&T had to force them to do it.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, the COOF helped with that too. They probably always wanted to do this, but once the COOF happened, they're okay. We need to ramp this up. Let's get it out because otherwise we are screwed.
Right.
Rajesh has a good point. It's a great lesson having a good pre-live stream meeting to set out any issues and plan for the show, especially for charities. I agree, and you have to just have that standard, no matter how high profile they are. It's like, listen. We need things ironed out because we don't want any issues. Just like we're a platform like any other, you have to give us that respect to at least talk to us beforehand.
Right.
Because I listen, I accept. We're not. I don't want to be an SJW where you can never be redeemed. You know what I mean? I accept apologies. And so Uche apologized. I accept that. I was mad. I said I was mad on my own stream because I didn't like him attacking the fans. But his apology, I accept. And so, that's how I feel. And if Zach does an apology, that's more than what we got from anyone else. So I'll take it. I will. If other people don't, that's on them.
Agreed.
Rajesh makes a point that nobody I've heard made this entire time. that is actually probably the best solution for this going forward, is because they didn't do that.
Yeah, they didn't. And I understand it's hard to organize. And I know Zach had a lot of obligations that day.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure they had pre-meetings up to that day, but they should have had 30 minutes beforehand where they could talk to him. They could know what was going on and then do it that way. But that's a terrific point that nobody in the community has made so far, Rajesh. And I think that that's something that we need to bring up on some of these other streams if people start talking about this, is that, from here on out, I know like EVS and Eric July, Young Ripa said, we need to just stop consorting with these people altogether. But if we're going to shine a light on something like suicide prevention or sex trafficking awareness, then having those big names like that is going to bring in money. So we can't just cut people off. We can't be like SJWs and not let people redeem themselves, right?
Yeah. Real quick, 24/7 Fusion Media is indeed here. Hell, 24/7
hey, how you doing?
Fusion Media. I feel honored. This is the first time I got to do anything with you. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
Yo, hell,
real good,
doing?
Man. Real good.
It's an honor to be here, man. It's a pleasure seeing y'all having all this fun up here, man. I was like,
yeah.
Hey, Jufro, how's it going?
I'm good, man. Just
good to see you.
I appreciate that, man. It's good to finally get to meet all of y'all, man. It's it's like I say, it's an honor and a pleasure, man.
Hey,
it's great. It's great to
I've been
meet
following
you for the first time. Yeah.
So this is really cool because
it's first time we getting a chance to to catch up and meet. So shit, let's talk, man. Let's kick it, man. Y'all having a good time telling stories and hearing about acres of lands and all kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm with it.
Now Jordan's the greatest Green Lantern of all time.
Speaking of Green Lantern, and speaking of with it, Brightest Day has this point, and I also agree with it. I feel like 3 days after the fact, we should be beyond what we should have, could have, would have, and move on from what we do from here. And what we do from here is Storyman Jack has a sub to him, please, so we could get our own properties, not our own, it's his property, but his property out there. If you are an artist, Gretacoom, I know you're an artist. He put it out there. You can adapt his material. Make sure you contact him free, and just let him know of all changes and adaptations, and let him get that green light.
All I want is credit on it, and that we discuss any changes be made. That's it.
So yeah, and here's the first chapter of a book that I can't wait to listen to because
here is my position.
Double D's talk.
So. I think one of the worst things that has ever happened to media is the fact that what happened with the music industry with copyright. Yes. What that's done. Look, if somebody wants to print off my novel, let's say I get a novel published, I'm paid for it. If somebody wants to print it off and share it around, that's more for me. That's people coming to going to read my next novel. Right?
Yeah.
So why would I be upset if somebody takes something that I did and exposes it to more people?
Well, copyright law is not made for creatives, it's made for the companies.
Yep.
It's made for these mega corporations to benefit. It's not made for the creatives. It's not actually made for the artists. They'll use the name of the artist or the creative or the writer, whatever the medium is, just for the law to get passed. But the laws never benefit the creatives.
I have a friend of mine that wrote a story called Collectors. It's about one serial killer running into another and how they hook up. And a studio called him. They wanted it. They offered him $300,000 for it. He said, I will give it to you for $50,000, but I'll retain control. They said no.
And it's funny you mentioned that deal. That's similar to what Rocky he had to do. He took little money because they offered him a lot more for the script, but because he wanted the control and to actually star in it, he made almost no money from the studio for that control. He gave up all of it and had to keep giving stuff up as it went along because they just did not want to give him control.
Right.
And look what that franchise turned out to be. And studios don't know what they're doing. And that's why the future is actually bright because this entire time we've had media, we've all had idiot execs fucking it all up. Every great musician, every great album you got was in spite of the idiots who ran it. And now we have
and the creatives die poor.
Yes.
In relation to their work.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at the writers, the Star Wars writers.
Oh,
I mean, they're not even getting their royalties from Disney, and they're poor. But Disney has made billions off of them.
Yeah, it's even fucked up where Lucas won't even step in to help out. You know, that's crazy, man.
That's the craziest part to me.
It's like, damn, dudes, people been writing, books and novels when you were in control, and the fact that, you sold your company and now Disney doesn't want to pay the, these writers and everything else, for past works, and it's all in the contract, and Disney still doesn't want to do what's right. And Lucas won't step in, to make that difference and to make it right. It's a fucked up situation all the way around. It looks like he got his money and doesn't give a shit what happened to everybody else that he left behind when he signed over the company, to fucking Disney, man. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and you would think, he's the one who made the white slaver comment, to kind of go back on that subject we talked about a little earlier. But no, but seriously, he made that comment about his franchise. Well, you care so much. Remember, there were other people who helped you and helped the brand itself, and were writing from day one or day two, basically. And help as Gary says that, and I can't blame my head, not my heart. But the novel in between Star Wars and Empire Strike Back was, for a lot of people, the sequel until
Shadows of the Empire. Yeah,
Shadows of the Empire.
I love that game on 64.
I do remember that game on 64.
And it was a media event. It was games. It was novels. It was posters. It was all kinds of stuff. It was action figures. It was a media event, and it was a very well written novel.
Oh, does he have 10 billion in Disney stock? Man,
yeah, that's why he doesn't.
That now, I think it translates to that now, based on stock options, based on everything from the purchase to now.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it ain't worth 10 billion. If he sold
no, it's way overflated. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, they're playing shell games.
Yeah, they didn't get caught for that. They got caught by their own CPA, but they got rid of her because they're just
of course,
Oh broke every whistleblower law in the book.
Yeah, she sure did.
Yeah,
oh man.
Robert says talk about double D's.
Wasn't it about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago when she did that?
Yeah.
I want to say 2019.
Yeah,
but it might have been later 2019, and she had a GoFundMe recently.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because she probably can't find work again.
Unfortunately, that's sad because she did her job.
Yep. And the government don't care.
Nope,
they don't care about
they
us.
Never will.
They're employees of Disney who are employees of China. So that's comfortable.
Well, and after what China just did to our president, he's just going to sit back and take it.
Oh, of course. He is their he's their bottom bitch. To sum up South Park style, he's Butters' bottom bitch.
To have a guy from China say we have an atrocious record with African Americans when they basically slaughter anybody of a different race.
Yeah, it's insane. That's insane. We have an atrocious records. You couldn't even put Finn in his own commercial in China. Are you serious?
Right.
And it's not the Chinese people, because NBA is very popular to Chinese people, which is mostly us.
Huge.
They talked about how Will Smith is one of the most popular actors in China for like decades. It's the government. It's the government who has all these crazy rules. And then they want to say, oh, we have listen, the history of this country has a lot of scars, but as we just talked about earlier, there's a lot of scars they don't reveal.
Yeah, and we're not the only country with those scars.
No,
is what people forget.
Most of humanity has those scars.
My Irish ancestors were kept as slaves in Rome.
Ooh,
yeah.
Damn, dude. I'm sorry, man. Glad.
I mean, I've never been kept as a slave. I don't care.
Yeah,
but still, that's the history of the world.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
At one time or another, every different culture has been oppressed. Yeah, it is not anything new, and it's not anything that's ever going to go away.
No, as we see now, because now, I mean, to get slightly political, I feel like the goal is global wage slavery, which we already have on some level, but to increase that wage slavery.
Yeah,
it sounds good to get $15 minimum wage, but then when it's hard to open a small business, where are you going to go? Work? You got to work for a corporation.
Look, a meal at McDonald's used to cost $6. Now it costs $10.
Yep.
Right.
And in another year, it's going to cost $15 because they printed all this money.
Yeah, and gave it to companies like Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snortopus Q Burt is waiting for reparations from the Roman Empire, but did the Roman Empire keep polar bears, Snortopus? I don't know.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They put them in the arenas. Yes.
Oh, so that's why he's mad. There you go.
Yep.
Lions, tigers, and polar bears. Oh my!
Yep. The eel from Mario 64 is why he has a fear of the ocean, because we talked about this. And then Soul has a great book on the subject, and it'll probably be on YouTube. Thomas Soul has a lot of great material.
That dude is great.
That guy is a leader.
Yeah. I keep saying if my mom was taught Thomas Soul when she was in school, this a lot of things would be different, but they didn't teach.
She absolutely did, Rajesh. She absolutely did.
Shillery did. She absolutely Shillery, man. But hey, Snortopus says he got his pound of flesh. Spartacus was delicious. Good to know.
Oh shit.
That was good.
Yeah. But yeah. I get to kind of circle back to what the real goal of this podcast is. It's really not to talk about Zack Snyder. It's really to talk about us. We don't. That's why it says I guess. We're not. Who cares? All right, Hollywood pissed in our face for the 5 trillionth time. Okay, screw you guys. Screw you guys. We're taking our ball. We don't need Joey Zacks no more to get our stuff greenlit. We saw that Batman dying in the sun.
Oh,
that is the future. I can't wait till we have our own properties and we're doing that. I love Batman. He's my favorite fictional character by a lot. I love Batman, and I love that short. But as long as we keep depending on their properties, they're going to keep fucking with us. And so,
we got to keep our properties from becoming their properties.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's funny, man. I had just dropped a video, man, just a few minutes before I even got on the stream. Referring back to what happened Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. And to be real, this is the first time I dropped the video since then. I haven't dropped the video in 2 days because that's how much this whole situation kind of rubbed me in a whole different way. And, the one thing I emphasized at the end of it was the thing that got everybody pissed and riled up, and everybody was entitled to their opinions, especially, whether you knew the behind the scenes stuff or not.
Right.
The thing that hurt and bothered everybody was this entity, this thing that we've been talking about for years. People have been talking about it longer than others, but I've been here rocking with this community for the last 3.5, 4 years. So I've been around.
Yeah, I know you're a huge Snyder Cut guy.
And the thing that I've seen was that we've all been talking about. We have our criticisms. We speak against the shit that we don't like, and when it comes to pop culture. And for some people, it's always been like this boogeyman type shit. And what happened, the realization was all that shit that we've been talking about, everybody got to see it on the biggest, like the whole world was watching us when this shit that we've been talking about in all of our videos finally appeared before all of us. And it fucking took us for a loop because you know what? It was so many factors involved. It was the charity. It was the fact that it was the eve of the premiere to the Snyder Cut. I mean, this is the thing that people don't understand is this dude's been rocking with us as within our part of the fandom for years, and it all accumulated to this one instant, and it hit us at the very moment. And like I said in my video, man, we were one step to making it to the finish line all together. Zach, everybody, man. We were hours away from the fucking world premiere, man. This shit that everybody's been fucking fighting for, putting in our hashtags, people donating money. And the thing is, he came and he rocked with us. It wasn't like he showed up and dropped the video like all these fake motherfuckers do. Hey guys, how you doing? Thank you for supporting us, blah, blah, blah. We're happy to be here. Thank you. Goodbye. And the video cuts off. He actually showed up, and he showed up for a while. So the fact that he even showed up showed that he wanted to be there. But when you understand the context of what happened behind the scenes, and it took 2 days for me to be able to swallow that and understand it. And I dropped my video, man, and it was a hurtful fucking thing because we were cheering and rooting for this moment, man, and it wasn't like we let our guards down, and it wasn't that we had that we looked at him like he was our hero, and they said never meet your heroes, and we got let down. It wasn't that. It was the fact that he got treated the way we've been treated all this time. For as long as we've been dealing with it, he's been dealing with it, but on the level of it was Hollywood doing it to him. And of course, that's Hollywood doing it to us. But with him, he was already in the door. Us, we're on the outside looking in, and we didn't like what we saw and how he was treated. So we rallied behind him, and we supported his shit, and he rocked with us and defended us as his fandom and the whole shit. And that's why it felt so fucked up that at the last second that shit went down the way it did.
I felt like
it was years in the making. And
when he first said that,
blindsided, because even when people were trying to talk shit about the fandom, he stood up for us.
Yeah, he did. And sorry, Fusion. Can I further emphasize on what you've been saying? Because you bring a great case to this. And the thing is, Zach could have been the middle ground to saying, listen, look at what these guys are doing with this charity. He could have broken and crushed the narrative with showing up on there saying, thank you, geeks and gamers. This is amazing. Look at what you've done with this charity before I even showed up. He could have crushed the narrative, and this Access Media would have hated every bit of it. It would have been the finish line victory that would have helped end this. But he, rather than crush that divide, he furthered and fueled the flames of division even more.
Yeah. And for me, when he first said that, I felt like, has this dude been playing us for all these years?
I thought about that.
Watching it back and seeing how uncomfortable took that away, and then hearing Uche's story, I'm like, all right, he was forced. Well, that's another thing. Okay, first let me read Rajesh' comment, and then I'll kind of give my take. The execs got what they wanted to a point. They had the fans upset, not talking about the charity. As long as we stick together,
the charity, it worked.
And then get back to sharing our views. Yep. Not only that, I also kind of wondered if, as you said, 24/7 or Fusion. I'm not sure what's the best way to.
No. It's about 24/7.
24/7. All right.
Yeah, 24/7 Fusion Media is the name of the channel, but I'm 24/7.
Makes sense.
Or you can call me 24 for short. It's 24. Either way, man.
24.
24.
All
yeah.
Day, every day.
I'm good with all of them.
So, as you said, he's been getting antagonized by Hollywood,
right,
and by the system. And I looked in his eyes right beforehand, and he was getting antagonized again. And that's the thing that kind of, as pissed as I am at him, I'm still pissed. There's still a lot of options. I do understand being, like you said, being at that finish line and probably getting pressured off of Warner. But the thing is, it could not have been, like, I don't believe that they would have dropped the Snyder cut after all the hype they put into it. But
you never know with those people. Honestly, you don't.
I would have had the movie not come out if it meant defending the fans. Maybe that's just me.
Let's get this straight.
Done that, they would have looked terrible. I do think, you know what?
They don't care how they look. None of them.
That Tom and Jerry thing now looks a little bit more. I wonder if that was a threat.
It was.
Let's get this straight. That was political expediency. While we were on his side, and while we furthered his agenda, we were on his team. As soon as it conflicted with making money and it conflicted with the corporatism that's going on in Hollywood, that was when he showed his true colors. That's what I saw. I saw the pressure that he got from corporate America, from Hollywood corporatism, that they pushed that agenda on him for him to come on there and say that. That was not something he wanted to say.
Right.
That was something he was told to say.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
They did it at the last minute on purpose.
Absolutely, because that sowed the most discord.
I can't blame him if he was blindsided by Warner right before that stream.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't blame him because he could have chose to not say that.
But you know,
Sun Tzu says it well, right? No strategy survives first contact with the enemy. So he knew coming in there what he needed to say, and he had to get it off his chest. That's why he did it at the beginning.
Right. You know, the thing I looked at was he was supposed to have been there from the beginning, and he wasn't. He's an hour late, and he's an hour late. Jeremy's not around, which was, you know, people iterated kind of some flags were waving, but you know, people understood what was what. So Jeremy Griggs is not there. People are like, where's Jeremy? Because he helped with this whole thing, and it's not like him to not be around. But then when you hear about the circumstances surrounding it, you can see why he didn't show up. So that is what that is. Zach shows up an hour late. He was supposed to have been there at the beginning, but he was an hour late. Why did that happen? Because he's fucking fighting back and forth with Warner Brothers. Not making excuses, but that's, you know, when you hear it from everybody, that's basically what it is. He's arguing back and forth. He wants to do the live stream. They're telling him, hey, well, do this, do that. And the fact that, you know, I guess Geeks and Gamers in the midst of everything, they didn't remove their names off of the website that the whole donation fundraiser was attached to, and you know, through legalities, and like I put in my video, legalities that I don't understand, it was gonna cause some kind of problems. My whole thing is, they were not going to pull the Snyder cut hours before they already put 70 million into this, so it wasn't that they were going to put it. What else did Zack Snyder have to lose in order for him to have to do this?
No,
was it really something contractual or whatever? Was it that he has other projects in the way, and this was going to look bad that he's affiliated with someone that just a couple of days before they had a hit piece put on him? You know, it's all these different factors. You don't know what it is because we don't know how these Hollywood types think. But it's just the fact that
hit pieces on each other.
Yeah, they eat their own. Exactly. And apparently, according to Ripa on FNT, he said that Zach was appearing on other streams also before this particular one. And to my knowledge, he didn't go on and just
didn't have to
further himself from them.
Exactly.
Why was this exclusive?
I went back and looked.
And was Ripa telling the truth on that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I'm not one to doubt him, but just to verify.
Yeah,
and I heard that also. I heard that also that he you know, we were one of the live streams that he was, but we were one of the main ones that he was showing up towards the end of the night. So he's been doing this shit all day, and it didn't have to go through all that shit that he went through with Geeks and Gamers that he had to do with everybody else. But when he got the Geeks and Gamers stream, that's what happened. And
I'll tell you what,
you know,
regardless of anything else. We should be proud of ourselves in this community and Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers.
Well, I am. I say that over and over.
They say my son lost his grandfather in August to suicide. A man that I never thought would ever do anything like that. And he does not like Superman. He thinks Superman and DC is boring compared to everything else. But he watched the Justice League. I donated in his name. He was proud of Zack Snyder in this community because his grandfather had somebody to talk to. He wouldn't have walked into his closet and pulled the trigger on himself.
And everybody, I think, out there has an experience that they can relate to. This was a righteous cause, and hell, I'm proud of Jeremy and his team.
Yeah, me too.
And this community, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I think
good people, man. And it was just the fact that it happened. Like I say, we were all there together, man. And that's the fucked up part, man. And like I said in my video, it just felt like right when we was getting ready to cross the finish line, Zach turned and he kicked us down right before, you know, we crossed, and he went past the finish line, and we were stuck there at the last step, man. And that's what it fucking felt like. You know, you ever seen like those movies where there's a kid that gets picked on, and one kid goes to help the picked on kid, and then after a little while, the kid that was picked on to begin with turns on the friend that helps him.
Yep.
It was like, it was one of those things, man. And it just felt like a fucked up afternoon special, man.
Yep.
Oh, that's an accurate depiction, dude. That is spot on.
Robert had asked, I talked about the Tom and Jerry thing. So when the Tom and Jerry movie premiered a few weeks ago, For whatever reason, the Snyder cut was available for like an hour or so.
Right.
So when you click Tom and Jerry, you got the Snyder cut until they fixed it. This is just a suspicious thing to happen because I don't think that HBO Max had any errors like that previously.
All right. We all know how to upload videos, right? We all know how this shit works. That is not a mistake.
Yep. Oh, that was no mistake.
Yeah, because
especially if you're uploading your home videos, right?
Videos.
That was not a mistake.
Yeah. And yes, Vigilante. I am still streaming. And we're still going. We're still going.
The conversation after the little at first when you couldn't hear anybody.
Yeah, man. Thank you for you've been the star of this show. This has been the Storyman Jack show. Thank you so much. You held it down when my sound card was just trying to end everything.
You get the participation trophy.
Hey, I'll be right. I'll be right back. I gotta go let my dogs in.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think there's a song that goes with that line. I think it's Who Let the Dogs Out, isn't it?
Yeah. Real quick. Oh no, go ahead, Fusion.
No. Go ahead, man. Shit.
I was just going to check the chat. I love the chat.
Yeah, let's do it.
Killing it.
Roof Korean is John Gold says, just got out of work and wanted to type a message in case you in before and behind my computer. One major issue is the viewers, like it or not, you creators as the amalgamation of our voices. When our chosen champions hesitate in the face of chaos, we feel it to the rear echelon. Yeah. And the viewers haven't been in the trenches with our chosen champions, expect a lot from them. Ooh, that is a good point. And Storyman Jack, you just kind of missed Roof Korean's point, but what Roof Korean said, I'll just go through it again. He said, just got to work. He says, like it or not, one major issue is the viewers. You creators are as an amalgamation as our voices. When our chosen champions hesitate in the face of chaos, we feel it in the rear echelon. The viewers haven't been in the trenches with our chosen champions, expecting a lot from us. So basically saying, as YouTubers or as the creators, they look to us, and I'm more of a fan than a creator. I just started this a few months ago. We look to, just like we look to Gary, like we look to everyone. So when they flinch, it affects everybody. That's what he's saying.
And that's the thing that I even put in my video, man. My video was fucking 47 minutes long.
It's 46 minutes.
I never did no shit like that, man. Dude, and the thing is, it was to the point where, like I said, when this boogeyman that everybody thought that it's the equivalent of the man stepped in and made whatever situation resurrect. It was one of those things that, in the face of all that, where after a while we understood why there was no reactions done and people chilled, and it was probably a smarter move than what I would have done. But the thing is, when the time it all happened, I even put in my video, man, everybody's response, whether somebody where it was fandom menace, people that we look at were turning on each other, and I seen there's a bunch of that shit going on now.
Yeah. Oh, it hurts to watch.
EVS stuff,
dude. It's all that's gonna come. We're gonna see where the chips lay with all that, but there's a lot of fallout. I ain't gonna say a lot, but there's some fallout.
Yes, we need to talk. We need to get on these streams together and talk this out like adults.
Yeah, if anyone has beef with each other, just talk to them.
And then
you don't have to even do it on stream. If you don't want to do it on stream, talk to them personally, but just talk it out and hash it out, because there's no. At the end of the day, the long and short is Hollywood doesn't like this, and this is stuff we already know.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I've seen over the past couple of weeks. Like Saggy Melon's Mariah Kitty had a problem, right?
Did they? I didn't even know.
Yeah, they did, and they both started streaming. They started talking about it. Then they went on each other's channels and talked it out, and now they're okay. That's all they had to do was talk.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Uche and Mr. H did.
Yep, that's all they got to do is talk.
Oh, I didn't know they did a stream together.
Oh, dude, yesterday. I mean, oh man, they were it was like Friday Night Tights, man. They went up, dude, because Mr. H went fucking. He was watching it, and he was like, the way EBS went off, Mr. H went off, bro. Yeah. And the thing is, it went back. Of course, people talked about that shit, and Uche, he called Uche a fucking idiot and called him all kinds of shit. And even on the live stream, I mean, Uche started doing a live stream. Mr. H came on, and they fucking was cursing each other out for like the first hour. Dude,
that was the rant that we were talking about.
While that was going on,
yeah.
you could see it in the chat in Friday night tights. You could see Uche versus Mr. H, and man, look at this shit. And Mr. H is tearing them up, and Uche is doing this, and it was like you could see it in the chat of Friday Night Tights, and I was like, oh shit. And I went and I listened in on that, man, and that shit was.
It's on Uche's channel.
It's on Uche's channel. So, but 3 hours later, them dudes reading super chats together, talking, and they came to an understanding, man.
Good.
Dude,
they came to an understanding. But at first, I'm talking about when I went and I seen that, I was like, what the fuck's going on? I seen Uche was live. I jumped on that shit. Fuck you motherfucker, and you bitch, and all this, man. I'm telling you, boy, that shit was wild. And anybody that watched it, if anybody that's in this chat seen it, they'll tell you, yeah, man, that shit went down. Anybody that saw it was like, yeah, that shit.
Oh, he says Uche pulled the stream. Though. Well, if they hash it out, I can understand that.
Oh, they went 10 rounds, and that's good. That's the way guys do. That's the way we do things, right?
Yeah, and out of respect that they gained for each other, Uche was like, you know what, man, I'm not going to keep that up, because what it is, more people that watch it, they're going to go back and be like, hey, man, Mr. H. And actually, you know what? Sometimes when a lot of beefs are squashed, they start right back up because everybody else around it
will restart it.
Exactly.
Yep. Oh, they love
even
that.
when the two people involved have like agreed on it, and we're like, hey man, we're cool. It's always the people around them that felt like, hey man, justice wasn't done or justice wasn't served, and hey man, I know y'all squashed it, but fuck that motherfucker. And that's
yeah.
Dude, people.
Well, they had diametrically opposed opinions on what was going on, right? And you had one person who had more intimate knowledge of what was going on, and you had another one who had an opinion based on what he saw. Exactly, and that's what happened was they had two differing opinions, and they just hashed it out, knock down, drag out, ding, 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 let's go, and you get it out there, and then you move on, and then you don't have that thing eating you from the inside out, whereby you hate each other because you never got a chance to air your opinions and just to talk about it. Out. Yeah,
I'm glad they hashed it out like men. You got to respect that.
Yeah.
And
you take the lumps and you just get it done.
Somebody has to leave out, unfortunately. 32 flavors of Nick Weiser.
I don't want to, but no I've got to, but I just want to say, like, before I do this, I mean, the chat has been killer. You guys are kicking ass, and I know if you sub to my channel, thank you for that. I now 1 away from 280 and 21 away from 300. Awesome, thank you guys. Storyman Jack, pleasure to meet you. Fusion Media, pleasure to meet you. You guys got excellent voice. I'm going to tune in later and see what you guys are all about. And VW and Lord Thoth, always a pleasure, guys. You guys have always maintained excellence since the first day I talked to the both of you. May you guys keep that going on with the stream after I leave. And to all of you, you have a good magical evening.
Take care of yourself.
Later, guys.
Jack.
Yeah, 32 flavors of pimp juice. Let it happen.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go let it go right now.
Shit, that's what's up, man. Hey, have a good night, man. Take it easy, bro.
You too.
There you go. Man.
Yeah. And Robert, you said it's too bad Uche can't resolve it with the Jaguars. Let me tell you something about these damn NFL franchises. They are shitty. I'm gonna tell you about the Detroit Lions, who has Calvin Johnson, who is no worse than the second greatest player in our franchise's history, and the greatest player of this millennium, this generation. And they only owe him, like, I don't know, it's a small amount. I want to say $1 million or $2 million, and they will not pay it to him just out of spite.
Wow.
Out of spite. Just out of spite, they won't pay it to him. He said it's pissed him off so much he hardly watches football anymore. And that's sad, because not only was he a great player for the Lions, he did so much in the community of Detroit. He played through so many injuries. He's a really, really good dude. He as great of a receiver as he is, as at least from everything I've ever heard about him, as great of a person. And to do that to him is just shitty. So these franchises.
Well, maybe we should just break up all these big corporate entities. Maybe that's what needs to happen.
Isn't it funny that no matter what we talk about, that there's a story like that? Even
there's a corporation behind it. there's a
corporation screwing somebody over.
It's the only ones that can afford it. I'm a Raiders fan, so I should clarify that I was a Raiders fan, but honestly, I haven't watched an NFL football game in a decade because I'm just tired of it.
Well,
I watch hockey. I still watch hockey because being a Canadian,
you're Canadian.
I have to. Well, I kind of was talking. It was funny because I made an analogy the other night about this whole thing with the Zack Snyder situation, and going into that, it felt like playing hockey without a cup. And when he got on there and he said that after I donated a significant amount of money, I was rah rah rah. I was drinking the Kool-Aid, and he comes on there and says that it like I said before, we want to get back into the corporate stuff. Football teams, what's behind them? Corporations with billion-dollar bank accounts. A lot of the problems in Hollywood, what is it? It's billion-dollar corporations. It's people with suits who have no idea what they have. They don't care about our pop culture. They don't care about the stuff that we love because you know what? To them, it's all about the bottom line. It's all about the dollars. They don't care about us at all. And that was proven the other night on that live stream. And they don't care about suicide prevention. They don't care. They don't care. It's not about the little people, and it's not about the people out there that need the help. That's why we did that, because we care. And that's what Geeks and Gamers, and that's what our community is all about. We care about each other. Right. We're in this for each other. Right. And when those two bros got on there the other night, they hammered it out. They got through it, and that's it. And so we got to look at it this way. I think that it was a victory for the boys the other night. It was terrible what happened, but those people out there that need that money, that's a significant amount of money that can, if that helps one person, that was an outrageously amazing victory. Right. And my both thumbs are up for those boys, and I'm proud of them.
Yeah, me too, man. Yeah.
Our whole community. I mean, because that money wouldn't be there without our community.
Yep. Dude, I heard out of all the money that was ever made from the whole suicide prevention, Snyder cut, fan base, man. I heard that the money that was made that night was actually 20% of everything that's been raised since the beginning.
Yep.
Wow.
It was more than any other single.
All the fundraisers, charities, everything for years.
Wow. It was impressive.
It was one of the top ones.
Yeah, because it went on afterwards. It's still going on. I think. I'm not sure if it's
still open. You can still, the crazy part is by the time Zach showed up, it was at
60,000.
It was around 60,000.
Yeah, 63 or something. Yeah.
By the time they ended, it was at 70, 78 or something like that.
Yeah.
So think about it. In 1 hour, they raised 60,000, but then for the rest of the night, they were only able to get
17,000, whatever.
Yeah, or 17, 18,000.
Yeah.
Wow. What a change in momentum. What, you think everybody ran out of money?
No.
Yeah, this is stimulus day, by the way.
Dude,
this was stimulus day for a lot of people.
Man,
so a lot of people were tossing money.
I donated $1,000, but I did it in my son's name. So
wow.
But that was, his grandfather had really bad diabetes and was overweight, and he would have to go to the hospital every year for the past 5 or 6 years to get blood clots fixed in his legs. Mm-hmm. Well, when he got locked down, he was locked down. His wife wouldn't let him leave. His kids wouldn't let him leave the house.
Yeah.
He was stuck. And then he got into an argument with Noah's half-brother and was done. He just went in his room, locked the door, went in the closet, and it was over. And this man, he is my first wife's father. And we had a good relationship up until the day he died. He taught me a lot. He taught me a lot about being a human being. Yeah, I mean, so I understand how he was feeling and where he came from, but the devastation in my son, they were very, very close. And this was, forget Zack Snyder, the kid was thankful to Geeks and Gamers.
Yeah.
Well, you said forget. I was thinking of a different F word, but yeah. I get what your point you're trying to make.
Yeah, and another just plus for the charity, because like I've said in past, charities tend to trigger me in the opposite way. I actually did research, and they do good work. And not only that, a member who's on our channel a lot, Gomer Kyle, and he's donated. He said that they helped him specifically. He said that in the chat before, so I hope he's okay with me sharing that. But yeah, so that is a really good charity.
And I will say this too out there to the chat and to the people who will be listening to this video later on too. Something to think about now. We're in March. The sun's coming up. It's a lot brighter. It's warmer. Especially in the northern climate. It's notoriously bad months. January and February, notoriously bad months for suicide. Bills come in from Christmas. Everybody has no money. It's dark and dreary. It's cold usually, or it's depressing weather. There's a lot of factors that go into January and February being terrible months. Yep. Seasonal depression is a thing. And so I think that this is a really good time to be doing this too. It was perfect timing. Everything was working out for them. That's why everybody was on there. The energy in the room was just unbelievable. I was there for the whole thing, and the enthusiasm and the energy and the love and affection and the brotherhood that was going on and sisterhood. And it wasn't just guys there too. There was girls, and there was all different races and all different people and all different sexual orientations. Everybody was there, and we were all on the bandwagon, and we were loving it. And it was just a great feeling to be helping other people and donating a little bit of money. And then that.
The other thing that really chaps my ass about the whole thing was that those killings in Atlanta were not racially motivated.
No, they weren't. And that's another thing with the reporting.
And then number two, and Yang did this, they're reporting these women like they were angels. They weren't. They were sex workers. And if government had done its job and cracked down on the trafficking and just stopping the prostitution in the cities like that, those women would not have been there to be shot in the first place.
And on that note, I mean, the reason they don't is who you think one of the biggest clients for a lot of
exactly.
And that's another sick. That's a whole can of worms that they'll probably get me more yeeted than I already am. Real quick, a couple people leaving. Fimber, guys, sorry I couldn't join you tonight. Fimber is usually on the shows, but he couldn't join tonight. My neighborhood's been having blackout issues, so I'm kind of in the dark. Stay safe, Fimber. I hope things get better with the blackout.
Yeah, for real, man.
Yeah.
And because he's in Angola, he's an international brother, but he always joins. And Vigilante who left, yeah. He says, "All right, it's getting late for me. Going to go watch Pulp Fiction for the first time. You will enjoy it.
That shit, man. Have a good time, man.
You're awesome, Vigilante, and that's something else. The past. There's always the past. There's always great material in the past, as far as new media. But
yeah.
And by the way, it's Uche's birthday, so happy birthday, brother. I hope you're feeling
happy birthday, Uche.
Happy birthday, bro, man.
At the end of the day,
I hope he's having a good birthday, man.
He helped organize something that got a lot of people. He got this charity a lot of money. And
well, I tell you, I watched a stream with him yesterday, and he was crying. He really got hurt. This really hurt him.
Yeah, man, he's a good dude, man. All the dudes, man, their heart's in the right place, man. That's why.
Yeah, his heart's in the right place.
Man, when I dropped that video, man, that was like my third video I had made, and every time I made a video, I fucking deleted it. And then I'm glad that I took time, because the more I kept listening, the more I kept finding out more and more to where, I mean, on first instinct, bro, we were fucking on fire, man. And then after you get to understand what happened. And we're adults, man. It's like, dude, you get to understanding that, man. They handled it, man. They did the right thing, bro. And
yeah, they did.
And the thing is, we weren't mad at them. We were just mad at the fact that it happened, and how, like I say, man, people they look up to the dudes that are few levels up from us, that kicked off the Phantom Menace. And the thing is, when they were confronted with that shit in their face, it's not like, of course, man, they try to, they got to be professional, man.
I think,
I'm saying, they had to be professional dealing with what they were dealing with. But it was just the fact that after all the videos we seen and what everything is built up to be, people were ready for someone to get checked, in the proper way. And the fact that when that didn't happen the way people would have expected it, from everything that we stood for years, man, and it was right in our face, and there was the time to do it. Could have been then, and sometimes, we might have another time to, to address things and hopefully get our justice, some other time. But at the moment, they handled it the way they did, man. And we can't go back in time and
exactly.
But it was just when people seen it, folks just expected a different outcome, man. And the fact that we didn't happen.
My point has always been this. It has been. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
No, you good, man. No, go ahead, bro. No, you straight.
My point has always been, well, not always. It's only been a few days, but since it's been like, okay, like I've said many times, I'm not going to criticize anybody live. I think Uche damn near deserves an Emmy because live TV, live YouTube, like we saw earlier on my damn show, I had the damn sound card messed up, and Storyman Jack just has to host a show on a channel he's never been on for like 5 or 6 minutes, and he just does it. That's not easy. I mean, he did it because he's great. Shout out to Storyman Jack. But that's not easy.
He was channeling Yoda behind him there. That's what.
Well, that's knockoff Chinese Yoda. So
shout out to knockoff Chinese Yoda.
I'll grab him right there.
Hail China.
Yeah, maybe they'll get us some points on this platform. But
add some bots to your channel.
That is the ugliest Yoda ever made.
He almost looks like E.T.
Yeah.
Well, if I when I get another camera, I'm gonna have
actually he looks like the turtle from the big ass turtle from the Never Ending Story.
Never Ending Story. He kind of does.
Oh, and Brightest Day. Happy birthday tomorrow. Brightest Day tomorrow.
Brightest Day has a birthday stream. His birthday is tomorrow. He's building a giant gunpla at 9 a.m. So Eastern. So check that out.
I'd sing for you, but I'm certainly not Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah,
my birthday is on May 30th, and I'm gonna do a writing
my grandfather's birthday is May 30th.
Yeah, cool. There's a lot of famous people on May 30th, and I'm gonna do a writing stream. I'm gonna write a story from scratch on the stream.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
would
take
love to see something like that.
Suggestions from the chat, and we'll just work on a story. And like I don't just have stories on my channel. I teach people how to write too.
Okay, I need to watch your channel then. I've always wanted to know how to write because I have ideas, but I don't know how to structure them.
I have a creative series that goes from idea where I got the idea all the way through to a story, and that story is posted on the channel. And it's I actually tied it into Circles Riven as the prologue. So that character in that story that I wrote to teach people how to write is a main antagonistic character in the main story.
Okay.
The prologue is his origin story.
Oh man. So which I'm looking at your playlist. Is that in a playlist?
It's called A Thief's Tale. And if you look at the creative writing series playlist, let me go back to my channel here.
Shit, let's
pull up Story Man.
Let's put the link in the chat too, man.
I've been putting it in.
He put it in. So
chat's been moving. The chat keeps moving. Thank you, chat. And this stream is gone. I thought this was going to be a shorter stream, but we're going 2 hours so far.
Well, I'm sorry, I kind of took it over a little bit.
I'm glad, man. You've kind of made this stream, and
I will be on Sunday Culture Review tomorrow. As a
I'll see you again there because I'll be on there too.
Yeah,
and I'm Boomer and stuff. People talk about Gary.
Hail Culture.
He's going to let me stay the whole time this time. So.
Yeah, talking about Culture Casino.
Culture Casino.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit, man. Yeah, so I've yet to meet him, man. So.
Well,
he's a good dude.
He's been
I know he
channel.
is, man. I'm subbed to him twice, man. So he's
awesome. I get to have the honor of wrenching for him. He's pretty awesome.
Well, the reason I bring up my birthday is because I need a really good birthday memory because my last divorce, I was served papers on my last birthday. So, I mean, I'm sitting there grilling steaks for my birthday dinner. My wife is sitting on the couch just having a conversation with me, and she had me served right then on my birthday.
Wow.
Those steaks didn't taste that good, did they?
Man, I made a video criticizing MGTOW.
I don't even remember
that one.
Yeah. I don't even remember eating it. So if you look, Where is it? Let's go to playlists. There's the creative writing series.
Creation series,
right. If you go to the very last one, that's the story. So it goes through how to write and all that good stuff. And then basically this is a tale about a guy who's a thief, and they change him into basically a body snatcher thief. Like he can take over people's body, but that's at the end.
Okay.
And he ends up being the main antagonist in the other story.
And large off being a good wrench, putting
it kind of reminds me of a Shocker.
Yeah.
Sounds like a motive for murder.
Yeah.
And
I get stories all the time. I have like 6 I need to write up and do videos on.
That's I've like ever since I was a kid, I would have ideas and they come and go, and I don't have the patience to write. Like when I'm sitting and trying to write, it just like everything doesn't sound as good in my head. I'm like, never mind, I'm not a writer. I just go.
Well, that's the thing. You just got to sit down and do it, and do it, and do it, and do it. And Stephen King's #1 rule, the only rule he says you have to follow when writing, is to read a lot and write a lot. That's it. That's all you got to do. You'll learn how to do it. And this series helps you organize and where ideas come from and the importance of like music. I listen to music. If I want a certain tone in my writing, I tend to, with media, movies and music, I tend to lose myself in it. Right? Mm-hmm. Like when I'm watching Star Wars, I'm in that movie. I am Luke Skywalker. You can't get my attention any other way. I'm in it. And it's the same thing with music. So if I want something heavy fight scene, I'll listen to like Metallica or Megadeth or something. If I want something light or romantic, I'll listen to like, I don't know, like Katy Perry or something like that. Something that'll put my emotions into the mood, because if you don't write with emotion, nobody's going to get what you're saying.
Yeah. This is probably, I just had to do this. Snorter Poopies Q Burr says his birthday is next month. If anyone asks his preferred cake, it's harp seal with chocolate sprinkles. Not sure if the chocolate, if bears can eat chocolate. And I mean, we know bears can't eat cocaine. Poor Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, I heard it's a hell of a drug.
It is a hell of a drug. Rajesh votes you, Story Man Jack. I genuinely do not know from experience. If not for the
I'll tell you something about Doctor Who.
Yeah,
I've been watching Doctor Who and things like the original Dark Shadows since I was an infant, because my mother loves it. In fact, when I showed her that she could watch all the old Doctor Who's on Amazon, she made me buy everything.
Oh
man, I'm not a Doctor Who fan, but just hearing what happened to that fandom and happened to that franchise is just sad.
I feel for him, man. Especially if man, being a Star Trek, Star Wars fan and seeing what's happening with a bunch of other shit, man, you can definitely like. But I'll be honest, I picked up, I think it was season 13 or something. I don't know, man. I picked up one season, man, and I'm gonna try to watch it, but I don't understand where the whole thing is coming from. Right. I'm the kind of guy that if I don't see it from #1, I don't want to see it at all until I get them all, and I can just watch them in chronological order, because I don't want to be asking questions. And I heard Doctor Who is one of those things that it costs a lot of money and it's hard to get that shit.
Not anymore. I think there's at least one streaming site that has them for free.
Okay, all right.
Oh, wow.
I'll have to look it back up, but yeah, there's one streaming site that actually has them on there. It might be Prime, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I watch all the old ones, and all it is it's a eclectic, weird guy who travels through time and space and helps people. That's all it really was supposed to be. And then they wanted to gender swap and change the lore. That's why I understand people. I like the Snyder cut. I like Zack Snyder's vision for DC, but I understand those who don't, because I'm not into the lore of DC or Marvel, right? So for me, it's just something I'm consuming, a popcorn flick, and I really enjoyed it. But the people who don't like it, I get why, because I know what they did to Doctor Who lore. I know what they did to Star Wars lore.
Right.
I get that.
I am a Star Wars fan. I'm not as big. I'm a super casual Star Trek fan.
I'm a DC guy myself, man.
I'm more of a DC guy as well.
Yeah, I'm a DC guy.
I mean, my whole collection is mainly DC, man.
I have about 120 long boxes of Silver Age stuff.
Oh wow!
Oh nice.
You do?
Yeah, I'm a huge DC fan, man. Wow, man. Adventure Comics, Superman, Green Lantern. Right, I've been wanting to get some showcase of that stuff. Days. Oh man, I'm big fan, big comic fan. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't get into. I'll be honest, I didn't get into comics till I was an adult, and that's because, I mean, I was reading Stephen King when I was 8 years old.
Nice.
So when my friends were reading comics, I was just like, read a real book, because I didn't understand. Right. I didn't understand it. The stories are so good in comics, and especially some of the older comics. They're so good.
And being a big Star Trek fan that I'm a classic Star Trek fan from the early 70s, watching it with my uncle. And for me, I have all of the novels, and that's really what I used to read growing up as a kid too. Well, I mean, Lord of the Rings and Dune, all that stuff too. But the Star Trek novel was just easy. It was an easy read. It was like a couple hours, boom, you're done. And even the Star Wars novels too, as we get going too. I like Star Wars. I love Star Trek.
Yeah, and I'm the same thing. I'm a Gemini, so my Star Wars
Scorpio.
My Star Wars half has always been at war with my Star Trek half, because Star Wars was something I loved that was a movie, but Star Trek was on every day.
Yeah.
I mean, so
and same as Doctor Who too, though in the 70s and 80s too. My dad had a satellite dish, so we used to watch the Sci-Fi Channel because he used to pirate the codes for all the channels, right? So I would be watching that right before I'd go to school. Would be Dark Shadows, Doctor Who, Swiss Family Robinson, Lost in Space, right?
And then I get home from school and watch Gilligan's Island, Dobie Gillis, all that stuff.
Hogan's Heroes.
Yep.
Even Fantasy Island. And
I almost think they should bring those old shows back and force kids to watch them.
Man, I think kids would like those shows more than the ones they got.
They get a better education in the school system.
Think about how
now.
many. Yep. Oh Jesus, the school system's another can of worms. But think, like I keep saying this, like well, this isn't my generation anymore. It's a new generation. But this current generation is so nostalgic. Everything they do, like and I like the music. Synthwave is a genre that is dedicated to sounding like the 80s, and it's
I'm sub to all that shit. Retro rave,
I'm down with retro wave, Prime Thanatos, all these things. But like that's the whole point of it. Is retro. It's like we don't like what we got now. We will recreate the old stuff. We rather be like the older genres.
Yeah, I'm talking about Back to the Future type shit. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But who do they think is buying what they're selling? That's what I have an issue with a lot of what's going on in pop culture, because all these studios, I understand that we're starting to fall outside their demographic, right? 40s. I know some of you guys are less than 40s, but in the 40s, some guys are 50s and later, but they're the ones with the disposable income. They're the ones who are buying your purchase or purchasing what you're selling. These aren't the 20-year-olds or 25-year-olds who are just playing their games on their phones, and that's where the money is being spent. I think that you look at, for example, sideshow.com, all those statues of Iron Man and Wolverine and Optimus Prime and Boba Fett. Who was buying those statues? Come on, let's think about it. It's post 30-year-olds.
They're not 13-year-olds.
Nope, no, it's post 30. And when I say post 30, really what I mean is post 40. There are some 30-year-olds that love this. Why do the 30-year-olds love it? Because they're 50-year-olds or their parents that introduced them to this pop culture, and they love it as much as their parents do. And there are some 20-year-olds too, because they have parents that love this stuff. So when you start fundamentally changing that whole the theme of that pop culture reference, if you're rebooting all these shows and stuff, I understand you need to put some of your propaganda woke SJW stuff in it, fine, but make it part of the story without slamming me over the head with it.
Man,
if you have to put
Spider-Verse
or get a character that's of
Spider-Verse is a good example.
Yeah, I like Into the Spider-Verse.
I do too. I've been wondering this the whole time. Okay, you guys want to be woke. You guys want to preach at us. That's fine. Make it good.
Yeah,
make it good. Try to make it good. Try to make something that we like. You can still have every message that you want. Make it good. And we'll listen, your messages at what they purport to be, because they end up not being, are universal messages, idealistically, being accepted, being tolerant. But you guys pervert it and have made it such a perverse thing where diversity is anti-whiteness. Now, it's really crazy. And all we really wanted was good fucking TV in movies. That's it. We want to give you money.
There's a basic misconception between tolerance and embracement. They don't want tolerance anymore. They want us to embrace it, to become like them, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
it's just not.
It's not going to happen at a basic level. Listen, nobody is going to. Life, I don't know where, I do know a lot of these are really, really entitled individuals who've never had to do anything and they feel guilty about it, and this is their way of handling it. But it's like, listen, life is hard enough. Storyman Jack is giving you some of these stories of the things that's going on in his life. Life is hard enough to add all this extra weight to it. So, like, no one has time to, like, it's not because I'm trying to be discriminate towards your group or whatever that I'm not going out of my way to say something about it. It's like, I'm trying to live my own life.
I don't need an education at 40 years old. I don't want to watch a Doctor Who episode where they talk about Rosa Parks and screw it all up. Right. I don't want to watch a Doctor Who episode or a Star Trek episode where they're preaching at me about where they're putting their junk. I don't want to watch something like that. I want to watch fun. I come home from work every day after being stressed, and I know that everybody out there agrees with me because you all are watching the same stuff. And we want to come home. We want to watch an alien go to an alien planet and kick some guy who's got 8 eyes in the head.
Right.
And that's what we want to see. We want to see who was it that in the chat? It was perfect. Snorta Poopus there said, I'd rather watch Shatner doing Kirk Fu with Starform Rocks than anything with lens flares and shaky cam out of the wazoo. Yep. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you, man. Right there.
And the sad thing about the reboot of Star Trek was that it was a good idea and he fucked it all up.
Do you mean Discovery?
Yeah. No, I mean
2009.
You mean the 2009 JJ
lens flare?
Yeah.
Their message would work if they had double D's. Well, no, it wouldn't, because Kat Dennings proved that wrong, Robert. Dennings and WandaVision proved that wrong.
Are we talking double D's? Kat Dennings double D's there? Is that where we're going?
He said their message would work if they had double D's, but Kat Dennings was terrible in WandaVision. Her double D's did not save her.
They covered her double D's up and we weren't distracted enough.
Yeah. She has to wear halter tops. There's no way, you can't just put this thick black sweater over her and then shoot her from the chest up.
I watch reruns of that show, that Two Single Girls show. Yeah, so I put it on mute just so I can watch them. Yeah,
I like the blonde better than Kat Dennings, though. I like the blonde.
Half the draw was here's these two hot girls that talk shit, and here you go. That's half the damn draw.
Yeah, and I appreciate the I appreciate the irony of her having that horse in her apartment with her. Yep. 2-4 gets it. I think that what we have is. They want to take feminism and sexuality out of our shows and turn it into 1984. Yeah. George Orwell had it right. They wore the gray outfits. Everybody, they looked the same. Men, women, whatever you identify as, they were all the same. Everybody was the same. Everything was regimented and scheduled, and there was population control, everything. And that's what we're going down here. They're starting to change all of our fun, good, enjoyable entertainment and turning it into this, gray.
Well, they're purposely breaking society. They have what is, just under the level of a donkey show on the Grammys for everybody to see.
The Grammys is still on?
No, when they did the Grammys, they had them basically having sex on stage. And then, but they're going to cancel, like Pepe Le
Dr.
Pew.
Seuss.
Yeah. They're purposely breaking our moral society, and this is exactly what Mao did. He used the young people to break the society, the cultural society, and they were social justice warriors.
Yeah.
Nazis did the same thing. Every time this happens, it's the left rises up and then something even worse from the right comes along.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Problem Being and As from Heel versus Babyface with that video. Have you guys seen that video? That earworm of
that
fucking scissoring. Like that's that's what I was humming to myself when I was looking at the video.
Oh yeah. Them videos, they're funny as shit. They're good, man.
And shout out to Problem Being for doing something I've always wanted to do: produce a single that charted. Congratulations.
I think he's is he 69 yet? I'm hoping he gets to 69 because he was 71 the other day. 69 is a magical number like 42.
Yeah. I mean, that's really cool.
That is really cool. And Lee is a great guy too. And that's just that whole video, man. It almost broke me. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah. Yes.
But I like how you got to throw a little humor at this too. I think the last few days have been very stressful. We're getting down on ourselves and we're like so frustrated and upset with what's going on. And it's great to have a few laughs. FNT, I had to shut it off the other night, Friday Night Tights.
I did too.
It was so dark and I couldn't handle it anymore. But a lot of the times it's good to go on there because there's a lot of laughs too, and they give each other a hard time, and it's a bunch of guys getting on there and just letting loose, right? And feeling comfortable to be able to share that with us. And that's what's so impressive about our group that we're in now. This whole community is just it's fun too, and I think we suffer together, but we laugh together.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, something you mentioned earlier, Dark Shadows. When I love Johnny Depp, always have. And when I saw that movie, I wanted to strangle the dude.
That was an awful movie. Did you like it?
I own the original series.
I forgot that existed. That movie.
Yeah, I own the original series.
It was awful.
Yeah,
the series was great.
It was a dark, dramatic soap opera. Is what it was. It was a dark, dramatic soap opera, and they turned it into a comedy.
Yeah.
Yes, which is not what it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Real quick, I gotta hear from the chat. It's hard to get you all, but you guys are great. Jack of all casual says there's still too many Puritans in Hollywood. And then to respond, just another red shirt, who's not just another red shirt, he's the red shirt. He says he thinks he might have more to do with the feminist object to the male gaze. Male gaze. Something else I've noticed, they actually also object to the female gaze. Like you have the Henry Cavills and the Jason Momoas, but outside of that, it's a lot of Robert Pattinson type guys. There's a lot of androgynous type guys.
Those guys are nerds too, by the way. Yeah. Jason Momoa and Henry Cavill, nerds.
Yeah. Stargate. Jason Momoa started
Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah, Atlantis. Of course, it's Atlantis.
Love that show.
That was a great show. They're all out on Blu-ray, by the way, so go pick them up.
I have them.
Yeah, get your media while you can before they start changing it.
Yes.
Yeah, or they might just get rid of the standard of Blu-ray.
Yeah, man, you never know, man.
Because remember, all of these companies, they do coordinated things. So to say, let's get rid of the standard to push them all on our streaming service is not outside the realm of possibility. But a Snorterpoopus, I always screw up your name. Snorterpoopus Cuber. It says April 25th is his birthday, the same day as the Oscars, as I mentioned in the chat. And I won't be watching the Oscars. Of course, I won't watch the Oscars on any day either. And you were talking about the Grammys, and even you just talked about the Oscars. These award shows were dead to me like years ago, like decades ago.
When I was younger, I watched the Oscars to see what movie was good to watch, right? Like $1 Million Baby. I would have never watched that movie if I hadn't seen the Oscars, and I loved it. But now it's junk. It's
right.
It's been a while. Yeah, the Oscars did used to suggest like, I hadn't heard of that movie and it was really good. You did used to get that. Yeah. But that's still about 2009, 10. That's when I'm like, I don't really. That's when I started to check out of really both sets of award shows.
After Gran Torino won, that next year I stopped watching. It was just useless.
Yeah. I can't even remember what happened. I can't remember who won the last 4 or 5 best pictures.
Oh, no.
I have no idea.
Yeah. But, and then Gran Torino, if they made that movie nowadays, that whole crew would get run out of Hollywood.
The one guy from Gran Torino is trying to cancel
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood. I'm like, he gave you the role. What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah. And Clint Eastwood don't give a shit.
Yeah, I know he doesn't care.
Get off my lawn.
It's like
Gran Torino.
Shatner just
Detroit.
Shatner just destroys them every day on Twitter. Every day he's destroying them.
Shatner is a god.
Yeah,
he's an asshole. I've met him. The dude's
and he's
an
Canadian.
Asshole.
Gotta love him.
He's an asshole, but he deserves to be.
Well, I mean, his resume kind of speaks for itself. Not just Captain Kirk, but I mean,
T.J. Hooker,
Denny.
The past like 20 years. That Loris, yeah, it was really, really good. I kind of think he was great in it too. But he kind of had that renaissance in the 2000s as well.
Yeah, when he was doing the
Priceline commercials.
Talking about when he was the lawyer.
The lawyer, yeah. I'm trying to think of that show because that was a really good show. Boston Legal.
And he was doing one-man shows where he just wrote poetry and read it and spoke poetry. And that was really cool. That was really cool to watch him do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like his albums, man, from when he was younger, man, from like the 60s.
Lucy in the Sky.
Oh, all that
with
shit,
diamonds.
Man. All of that. Oh man, all that shit.
And my favorite episode of Twilight Zone was him in the plane.
Iconic.
Oh, the gremlins on the plane.
Iconic episode.
Yeah.
That may be the iconic episode from the series.
That's one of them.
And what do we have now?
Demon Hand tune.
And what kind of icons do we have now?
Again, all of the kids go to the past. They don't even like the biggest misnomer we have is that the kids are the kids are rebelling against this, ironically enough, and they're looking towards the past. They're not looking for what is getting pushed. And just another red shirt and parts of the chat have this point: where are most electronics, including DVDs, Blu-ray players, made? Bonus question: what country are the entertainment companies in bed with? Snorter Poopa says, "Let me guess."
Somalia? Is it Somalia?
Caroline. Sweet Caroline. But is his pause is Carolina. Is the rhyme?
I bet you it's an Asian country.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I bet it is.
You know, we don't have a cell phone that's made outside that country.
And you know how hard it is to get one that's made outside that country? Even though I heard some company has popped up. At least I heard a rumor. I can't remember.
They're starting.
It is very hard. I remember last year I was like, okay, how do you I want to try to get one. It's like,
we invented electronics. America invented electronics. And now we don't make any of them here.
Which is insane. Insane. As a kid, I used to wonder why everything said made in Taiwan, made in China. I was like, why? It never, as a young kid, it just like, that doesn't make sense to me.
You can thank I'm Not a Crook. That's where it started.
Yeah, it did.
Only Nixon could go to China.
Yep.
Yeah. We have never left since.
And it's not one party.
Absolutely not. It's not. I mean, because that's why they have a convenient way of being bipartisan on things. We're like, why are you bipartisan on that?
It's exactly like the big tech hearings. They had 4 hearings on big tech?
Bread and circus.
Right? It's just smoke and mirrors. Every one of those dudes, I looked it up. Every one of those dudes get millions and millions, including Ted Cruz and Tom Cotton and Mike Gates. All those people get millions of dollars from Facebook and Google and Twitter.
I've talked so much shit about
that's why every time they ask a hard question, he says, I'll get back with you. You know when they're going to get back to you? When he's writing that check to that senator. That's when they get back together.
Thank you for mentioning that. I didn't know that specifically, but I keep talking about how Ted Cruz did nothing. I hate it when people say, "Oh, he was talking so much." I mean, it pissed me off.
All talk.
Because the reaction, like, "Oh, Ted Cruz, did you see what he said to Jack Johnson?" And then people were getting canceled the next day, and people were losing their Twitter the next day. Like he didn't accomplish shit.
No.
Triggered.
Trigger.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, since y'all mentioned them, y'all must be out here with me, huh?
What?
Well, I mean, I'm in Houston.
I'm in Dallas. Oh, north of Dallas. I'm at Lake Texoma.
Oh, no.
Yeah, man. I'm in Houston, man. So.
And my uncle lives in Houston.
Okay. Yeah, H-Town.
I have my brother is living in Houston. I'm trying to get. Well, he's not in Houston. He's in the suburbs out there, and I'm trying to get out there as soon as I can.
Mean, in Texas, everything's a suburb. Like the Dallas Fort Worth area is a big mass of a bunch of cities.
Yeah, a lot of cities are actually like that.
But yeah, really, man. I mean, but
Dallas Fort Worth is like concrete for like 100 miles in diameter.
Huh.
I mean, it's huge. Same thing with Houston and San Antonio and Austin. There's so many suburbs that it's just, and the suburbs
through Houston is huge. Yeah, they are. I like it out there, man. I want to move out there.
That's one of the reasons I tell people all the time not to be concerned about how many people come from California, because there's enough people out in the rural areas that we always balance it out.
Yeah.
So they're welcome.
Oh, Justin the says I need to get a clip of Triggly Puff, man. Yeah, that's too disgusting. I don't want to sick in the chat. Triggly Puff, if you guys remember the really obese with the weird hair, waving, flapping. It's a somebody did that. Trust me, that's how this works. Somebody was all happy to get up in that. That's the image you didn't need.
And that's the thing. They're trying to change our culture. They're not just doing it with movies. They're not just doing it with TV. They're doing it with novels. They're doing it with the news. They're doing it with
education.
Everything.
Yeah,
it started there.
It did, because it started years ago, because our education has been getting progressively more liberal and leftist. And they started, these colleges became just completely cult-like indoctrination camps. I remember that Evergreen, what was it in Washington? Evergreen State College. That was the canary in the coal mine a few years ago.
Oh yeah,
I think Brett Weinstein.
It was too late by then. It was too late.
Yeah, you're probably right. It probably was too late. But that was the first I saw, and I was like, "What is going on?" Had no earthly idea what I was looking at when I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, my son came home from school in the 5th grade to do a paper on the discrimination of certain groups, blah blah blah. And he wrote it, and he's like, well, I don't know. I mean, he basically said in there that he's not witnessed discrimination himself. And his teacher gave him an F and told him to rewrite it. And I had to go up to the school and ask her why. And she's like, well, he's seen racism. I'm like, how do you know that? Are you calling me a racist? Are you calling me, who is at least 2% African, a racist?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know who I am. You don't know where I'm from. You don't know what I do. Why would you? My son, yes, he grew up in a place, because we live in a rural community. Like I said, I graduated from a high school at 35 people. And there are not a lot of African Americans in that community back then. And when he was growing up, the first time he ever saw an African American was we had taken him to the zoo, and we stopped at McDonald's. And this is an embarrassing story, but it teaches a point. We went to McDonald's, and there was this huge, like, he had to be a football player or something. He was like 7'3" or something. He's huge.
Yeah.
And Noah's like 4 years old, and he's like, Daddy, they let one of the apes out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I turned around, and I'm like shaking. I'm like, oh my God. And the guy's just laughing, right? He's just laughing. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. He's just not been exposed to your culture. We live out in the country. And he's like, man, it's not a big deal. And we actually all sat down together and had dinner right there. And my kid he played with my kid, and my kid from that moment on didn't understand racism.
Shout out to that guy for handling it that way. And one of the things I fear with the way the culture is that they're incentivizing less people to handle it that way. They're trying to make it so people don't handle it that way, and that's not the default way to handle it. I mean,
and this guy wasn't just an African American; he was an African. He had an accent and everything.
Okay,
and he was very, very, very dark too. So I mean, that's no excuse. It just we never thought to expose the kid. I mean, he's my only kid.
Yeah.
And Now, his grandparents were from Mississippi, and his my wife's aunt and uncle came to visit, or great aunt and uncle came to visit, and they were, in their late 60s, early 70s, and it was during the time that Dallas had a black quarterback. He got kicked off for smoking pot. What was his name?
Quincy something?
Yeah, Quincy Carter.
Yeah, Quincy Carter. I remember him.
And we were over there for Thanksgiving, and Dallas always plays on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And those old racist MFers were saying things that I'd never even heard of.
Whoa.
And like having to do with porches. And I looked at my wife, I said, "We're leaving." She's like, "Oh, it's just how they were raised." I'm like, no, we have a 4-year-old kid. He's not going to get exposed to this.
Yeah.
I think as a country, we've come a very long way.
Yeah. Man, the racist thing is hard. My mom was talking to me.
Most of what people think is racist nowadays is just ignorance.
Yeah. So part of me, just the way I am wired, is like I'm like not that we all need people. I need you guys, the chat, the panel, everyone that needs. But like I'm an individual. Lord Thoth? What happened to Lord Thoth? The Canadian government has taken Lord Thoth away from us.
Oh no, I know.
But I'm an individual. I'm an individualist, so my thought is like I could care less how much racism is as long as it's not in front of me. The few times Lord Thoth is back, thank God he escaped the.
I thought I pissed him off.
My headphones came unplugged there. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Oh, Rajesh, real quick. Yeah, India is more racist. You still have a caste system running. I do know about that, and they're bringing that here, unfortunately. Snorter Poopers thinks the polar bears got you, but he escaped the polar bears. Snorter Poopers. They must have known he knew you, and they said no.
Polar bears, and let me tell you, I don't want them catching me. That's for sure.
Yeah, but as far as like racism, from my perspective, and this is actually kind of what I told my mom. She was saying that white people don't understand. White people don't understand, and my thought was like, she gave this analogy. She said, if a white lady was walking in the middle of the street, and you're on one side and it's a white guy who's the same size, because my hair is looking a little crazy right now, crazy hair, she's going to walk to his side. And I said, I don't give a fuck what side she walks to. I'm walking myself. You know what I mean? In the same thing I just said, life is hard enough to add more weight to care what other people think of me who don't affect me positively or negative. So I'm too apathetic to other people. That's not to say that racism doesn't exist. It doesn't happen. When I look back in my life, and I'm in my 30s, and when I lived in Michigan, I saw a Confederate flag once. And there's no reason, because Michigan was never part of the Confederacy, for that to exist there.
I seen it watching episodes of Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah. And what else? There's been a couple of jobs, because my name.
That symbol is that it has a different meaning now than it did back then.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It really does. And people don't understand that. So, I mean, to me, Texas was not part of the Confederacy. We were kind of away from it because I think we joined the Union kind of right along the Civil War, around that time. And that's what Juneteenth is about, was when Texas recognized that slavery was done. And all the slaveholders came to Texas because we didn't have a position. And as soon as the officers from the Union Army showed up and said, "Hey, it's done," we said, "Okay, it's done." That's Juneteenth. That's what that's about. Mm-hmm. So the thing about it is, though, if all the females I know who are white, if they're walking down a dark alley and they see any man, white, black, any color, they're walking the other way. You know what I mean?
And to be honest, I'm a bigger black dude. If I walk anywhere and I see anyone across the street, I'm like, oh shit, like any human being on earth, because that's just how I am. And to my point, like the only other time I've really experienced racism, a couple times finding jobs, my name doesn't necessarily tip you off to the fact that I'm black. And I've had some weird looks at interviews a couple times that I was like, okay, this is a very uncomfortable situation where they definitely did not expect me. But those jobs were like stupid ass jobs that I'm glad I didn't get anyway. So it has not been a massive there's been no barrier in my life because of my race, personally. And it's not to say anyone else's, but just my personal experience.
The thing about racism is it's not really racism. It's
classism.
It's culturalism and classism.
It is culturalism and classism. Yeah.
It is the fact that white people don't understand black culture. The mainstream media claims that white people don't have a culture. And, Hispanic culture is different from either one. And so is Asian culture. What we need to understand is there are great things about every one of those cultures. Every one of them. Now, should we take on everybody else? No, there's not. But, stereotypes are stereotypes because they're true. Just like a cliche. You don't use the cliches because they've been overused. But man, I like fried chicken and grape soda as much as anybody else on this planet.
I actually don't like grape soda or watermelon, but I do like chicken. And I'm like, to quote Dave Chappelle, you're telling me I'm genetically predisposed to liking this? Who are all these people who don't like fried chicken?
Oh, I love fried chicken. I think everybody loves fried chicken.
I do too. I do too. A lot of stereotypes based upon universal
especially
stuff.
Southern fried chicken, man.
Oh yeah, and that's really where the origin is a Southern thing. And actually, I think it traces itself back to Scotland.
Yeah, I think so.
Is that where it is? Yeah,
there's nothing better than having a bucket of crunchy Southern fried chicken and a big vat of poutine. For those of you out there who don't know what poutine is, it is fries, gravy, and cheese curds, and you can add a whole bunch of other things too into it, man. It is the best thing ever.
I go to Whataburger in the morning.
Oh, Whataburger,
and I buy 2 things of fries and 2 things of breakfast gravy and put cheese on top of it and mix it all together so I can have my own poutine because there's none of that crap around here.
Man, yeah. That's the best breakfast ever right there.
It is. It is.
Wash it down with a beer because you know what? It's 12 o'clock somewhere in the world.
Yeah, and it's more about understanding each other, like Rajesh is saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just about understanding. Is there something I don't like about my best friend? There's plenty I don't like about my best friend, but he's still my best friend.
Yeah. And I think a lot of our issues. Look, this what just happened. We talked about Mr. H and Uche. We have this British dude and this black former NFL player who are screaming at each other for hours, and then they end up cool at the end.
Yeah, because we're people. Yeah, we're just people trying to live our lives.
That's the ultimate core of my point. We are just people trying to live our lives, and I've never got, especially I don't know why my mom I lived in Detroit until I was like 16, and then we moved to a more rural part, and that's why I saw like poor rural whites. And so I'm like, it never occurred to me to pedestalize somebody via race because I just saw people who were like, we were poor and they're poor, and then everybody just broke. So there's no, because like something's gone on where like I've heard like things like apparently like you guys are getting like all sorts of benefits I had no idea you guys got. It's like this white privilege thing, like it's like serious. It's not serious to me, but like apparently there's a lot of people who really, really buy into that concept.
Robert said one of the funniest things I've seen all day.
Yeah, Lorthoff is a Putin supporter. Confirmed. Real quick, Robert.
No, that's funny. That's funny.
Who loves orange soda? Kel loves orange soda.
Oh, is it Fanta? Fanta orange soda?
Oh, not Fanta. We did a story on Fanta.
I like the Mountain Dew orange. I'll drink that in the morning.
I've never heard Mountain Dew orange.
I've never even heard of that one.
It's good. It's good. They've got down here. They've got the orange, and then they've got the pitch black, which is grape.
Illuminati. Well, orange is an Illuminati thing, I believe, Robert. So maybe. And Snorterpoop is Q Burr, even though he's a polar bear. His mom cooked great fried chicken. She was from Southeast Kentucky. Shout out to all the polar bears in Southeast Kentucky. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. I think he might have some grizzly mixed in or something.
Maybe he has some grizzly. Maybe he has some grizzly. That's the thing.
I don't know what kind of bears are in Kentucky.
I have no idea.
Grizzly's a good pick, I think. I don't know if there's any bears in Kentucky, actually.
Probably brown bears. Probably brown.
Yeah,
probably brown
bears. Rajesh is
I bet you those brown
right.
bears like fried chicken.
Yeah, there you go. You got
brown bears like anything they come across.
Hey, and we know they like cocaine.
Yes, they
love
do.
cocaine.
It's a hell of a drug.
That's what they hate. The fact
It's
that
amazing that we have bears named after Teddy Roosevelt and the drug lord of the world.
And there's a lot of bears in Chicago too.
Yeah, there are bears.
There's a whole football team.
The bears.
Bears of color. Yeah, you're a white bear with your white privileged bear.
White privileged bear.
Tons of polar bears in Kentucky and Florida too. Apparently,
they're snowbirds, aren't they?
Maybe that's what it is. Just read the hell freeze solid top to bottom for Biden's handlers. Oh yeah, Biden is supposed
to Biden Putin thing. Yeah, I heard that was kind of a joke. I heard it was more of a. I just heard that it was a rumor and a joke, but you never know.
Putin was just clapping back.
Yeah.
That's all he was doing. Nobody even. That dude can't even have a conversation with Donald Trump without fucking it up.
Man, he can't even go upstairs. He can't go upstairs. I'm actually getting ready to end the stream because we've gone close to 3 hours.
Yeah,
and so
it's been great.
On the Biden. It's been excellent. Man. You have to. I can't wait to stream with you again tomorrow over on Culture's channel.
It's been a roller coaster ride, that's for sure.
Yeah, we've covered so much. We actually ended up getting to the Snyder topic. Thank goodness.
A little bit, yes.
A little bit, and we cover, I think, what needed to be said. And I can't wait to see 24/7 Fusion Media's video afterwards. Speaking of which, I want to go around the horn and give everyone time to promote. And I'm going to start with the aforementioned 24/7 Fusion Media. I really want to check out this video. I've checked out a lot of his videos because he covers everything. He has the scoop on everything. His channel is a matter of time before he gets 1 trillion viewers and 1 trillion subs like everyone else. Go ahead. Real quick, just promote your stuff.
Yeah. My name is 24/7. My channel is 24/7 Fusion Media. I cover pop culture, just movies, comic books, cartoons, all the shit that we enjoy. I'm a purist when it comes to a lot of that. And, again, I'm same as these guys, just here on the, trying to fight for what we enjoy. And, that's the thing that we all have in common. So, if you, what you hear on this live stream, this is who I am in all my videos. So, yeah, come and sub, and we all rock with the same people. So I love to see you there, and thank you for having me.
Man, thank you for showing up, man. This has been a really kick-ass show. With
man,
all you
it's
guys.
A pleasure, man. Just shit, man. It's an honor, man. Yeah, I enjoy myself, man. A bunch of great people.
I love meeting new people, especially new creators. Yeah.
Yeah, matter of fact, man, didn't I see you on Lorena Creole's channel?
Yes, sir, you did.
Yeah. I know you look familiar. Yeah.
She wants to do it again, another one. So we'll probably.
Oh man, you awesome, man. So yeah, go for it, man.
I try. I used to be shy.
Nah.
Oh
shit.
Man, no, you're a really good talker.
The Air Force did that.
I can't tell, man.
No. When I was diagnosed with diabetes and I got over it, whenever I got it under control, my personality changed.
Interesting.
It has to do with serotonin levels that it causes in your brain.
Really?
Yeah. That's why diabetics are usually depressed.
Makes sense.
It does make sense.
You taught me something. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. And real quick, our resident Canadian Egyptian god, Lord Thoth.
Hail everybody out in the chat. Great chat today, guys. It was great chatting with you. Two for Storyman Jack. This was awesome. You guys have an awesome perspective. I love hearing different perspectives from me. Obviously, as a Canadian, I have a different outlook on a lot of things, but I know that there's a lot of similarities we have too. A lot of the same loves, true loves in our life, that pop culture stuff that we love, and love being part of this group, this extended brotherhood and sisterhood out there. So thanks for letting me be on, VW. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I love talking about these topics. This was one of the best chats I think I've ever been on. I loved the different topics we had. We had some laughs. we had maybe a tear here and there about stuff that we're angry about and we're depressed about and we're upset about. So it's good to get that out, right? Yeah. It's good to talk about this stuff because it gets us off our chest, right? And we don't need to shove this anger down. It's good to talk about it so that, and I know all of your the people watching in the chat are probably feeling the same thing. So thank you, and shout out to Foul Ball Productions and Jake D. There'll be a lot of streams coming up. Check out Howling About Entertainment there on Sunday nights. It's right before the Inquisition, so see us over there too. I know some of these gentlemen are on there, Jake D, VW, and I'm sure others will be on there too. Maybe the two of you might want to join us sometime.
Yeah, I mean, just let me know. I'll definitely show up.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's on Jake D's channel, and I know he loves having some new voices in there, and you guys would be very welcome. I'm sure of it. So, but thanks very much. It's great on a Saturday night and right before the hockey game. So
there you go.
And I know the guys are teasing me about saying a few times there tonight. So
hey,
I'm trying to get the Canadian accent under control.
Stereotypes exist for a reason, right?
That's right. I have to go out and shovel the driveway. No, I'm kidding. It's
yeah. You saying,
thanks, guys.
Talking about hockey, you're an actual Mountie. So
I am a Mountie. Yep.
I'm
an RCMP officer. Yep, decorated. I've been wounded in the line of duty, done all that. Ex-Air Force officer as well. I'm a veteran and served. So absolutely, that's why I like bringing that perspective to things too. But I always keep a positive, optimistic outlook on life, and I always try to put a positive slant on things when I can. But also, I can be a harsh critic when I have to be, and I think that's really what life's all about. It's the two sides of the same coin.
There you go.
Yeah, right. I appreciate it. Robert says you can be lured with maple syrup. I'm not sure how true that is.
Maple syrup, absolutely. Little maple syrup on the ice cream, and have a good Canadian beer. That's awesome.
There you go.
Maple syrup ice cream. That's a bit much.
It's actually really, really good.
It is good. Yeah.
Really good.
Well, who's I'd say was the star of this week's show. He helped it to begin. He's been the whole time. And like I said, I had terrible issues at the beginning. He hosted it. Him and knockoff Chinese Yoda, Storyman Jack. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for everything for this episode. Go ahead, promote yourself.
Yeah, I write stories. I put them on YouTube. I do the audio voices myself. I try to do the art myself. I just want to entertain people. That's it. I'm not looking to make money. I'm not looking to grift anybody. I'm just trying to write my stories and see what people think. So if you want to go to my channel, listen to a story, make a comment, even if it's a critical comment, because unlike the traditional media and Hollywood, I need that feedback so that I can get better.
All right.
So thank you. Thank you for having me on.
And I agree with that criticism thing. Please critique me. Please, you guys have corrected me a ton, and I appreciate you guys correcting me. You guys corrected me a lot with some of the Snyder stuff, telling me what was going on during the chat. So thank you. You know, I love everyone of you in the panel. Shout out to Jake D and Nick Weiser who were here earlier. Shout out to everybody who was in the chat. I think we got as many as 20 people, which is crazy for a channel as small as mine.
And guys, I really appreciate it. I'm up to 281 subs now.
Oh, congratulations!
Awesome. I sub to you also, man.
I appreciate
what are you up to? Like 300 or something now? Or what are you at, Twofer?
Oh, I'm at 345.
Yeah,
nice.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Extra 350 now.
Huh?
Looks like some people enough of us.
I just subbed.
Okay.
Oh, I appreciate that. See, look on here, man. 350, man. It's like,
congrats.
Appreciate that, man. Thank y'all, man. That's
well deserved. Well deserved.
Man, thank you.
Sub to Storyman Jack, sub to Thoth, sub to Jake D. And 32 Flavors and Nick Weiser as well. Brightest Day has subbed to everyone. Sub to him. Brightest Day has a channel. He does Gunpla.
Nice.
And he talks. So
I tossed his channel in the chat there, and he was talking about doing some BSG stuff. I'll be tuning in for that, man. That's
awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Love BSG.
And he's having a stream tomorrow, birthday stream.
Character swapping done right.
Yeah. And here's his channel real quick to promote as we leave. Snow the Poopers, who's a great guy, or bear, I should say. I don't want to offend him.
Yeah.
He thinks he's caught up with the subs. I hope everyone is subbed to everybody. We really appreciate it.
Cross subbing, yeah.
Cross subbing. Yeah, that's
Gotta
how
keep
I've
those
grown.
genes pure, man. Not like those Royals over in the UK, man. You gotta cross sub to everybody.
Yeah.
Yes,
Otherwise, you end up with great big ears, and Meghan Markle is your wife. So
that's just having the fact that one of them is married to Meghan Markle proves karma does exist. But that's neither here nor there. I appreciate everybody who's been here. Yeah, 24 has a great voice. He has an excellent voice.
Yes, he does. I might get him to voice one of my stories sometime.
He's got that really deep voice that I can't get down to.
Speak about that.
Yeah.
That's a rumble. That's a rumble voice, man. That's a rumble.
Yeah, got that Optimus Prime voice, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
I am Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty
Oh man. Yes. Yeah, we got to get you into voice acting. I want to get some voice acting.
Sure. That's almost a dark side voice there. If they're looking for the next dark side, maybe you should put in for that.
Good.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that, man. I've heard that a lot, but you know how it is.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew Zero is the best thing ever made.
Yeah, Mountain Dew Zero. There you go.
We don't need a red-headed polar bear with big ears. Okay. That's the last joke of the day. The chat's probably gonna have more as the stream ends. But thank you for everybody. Everyone have a blessed night. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share, subscribe, please do that, and share, subscribe to all these great panelists, including other panelists who left, Nick and Jake D. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night and God bless. Peace, everybody.